Sei was just a regular girl until the death of her parents. Then she is turned into a servant by her uncle's family and forced into a disastrous marriage. Her uncle and his family plan to marry her into the Beastman clan known for eating humans. Sei is, as usual, doing her daily duties. This time she has to clean the whole manor all by herself. The poor girl is too weak, so she faints. There is no pity for her as her aunt pours cold water on her to wake her up. She scolds Sei for being lazy. She doesn't like this niece who returned to the family after a failed marriage and is determined to make use of her. Sei's cousin, Chio, appears, pretending to be concerned about Sei, but really, she just came to mock her. She tells Sei this is what she deserves for ruining their Fujigamine family name and warns Sei to stay away from her. Two maids are gossiping about the Fujigamine's daughters. The first maid doesn't understand why the madam is nice to her younger daughter, while she makes her eldest do chores even servants wouldn't do. The other maid reveals Sei is just their niece. Like the uncle's family, she looks down on this divorced niece. She feels comfortable gossiping about her until the person herself appears. Sei is not offended and lets the two maids run away. Our female lead's life is really tragic. When she was 15, her parents died in a fire while she was the only survivor. She was forced to live with her uncle's family, but instead of the love she expected, all she got was hate and wickedness. Her uncle didn't waste time to let her know where she stands. He only took her in because she has their family name. His family worked her like a servant, insulted her, and reminded her daily that she was unwanted. By 16, they had already sold her off into a marriage for their own benefit. But that marriage didn't last long, and soon Sei is kicked out of the man's house. She tried to find a job, but no one wanted a maid as young as her. With no choice, she returns to her uncle's house, and the abuse continues. Sei endures it all because at least she has a place to stay. But all these chores are ruining her body, and even the skin on her hands is starting to peel off. Her only comfort in this world is Maru, her loyal old dog, the last gift from her parents. Sei stops feeling sad when her little friend comes rushing up to her. As long as she has Maru, Sei is okay. He is her only family, but Sei's nightmare isn't over. The wicked uncle and his family are having a meeting. Sei's cousin, Chio, learns the family plan. Her parents are eager to form a connection with the powerful Kamishiro family. They plan to marry her to the terrifying Beastmen, the rumored human eaters. Horrified, Chio pushes the marriage onto Sei instead, and her father agrees. Sei is heartbroken hearing this news. Everyone knows who the Kamishiros are. They are a beast clan full of white wolves who like to eat up anyone they dislike. The family head is even worse. He is a well-known criminal, and that is the man Sei is being forced to marry. Her uncle doesn't really care which of the girls gets married, but since he has always hated Sei, he decides to let her do it. He roughly grabs her hair and warns her never to reveal the truth of her first failed marriage to anyone. This time, she must be useful to them. Sei is on her way to the Kamishiro's clan. She's terrified, and she had to leave Maru behind. Her aunt promises to take care of the dog for her, but she doesn't believe them. Our dear girl soon starts crying. She is afraid, but there is nothing she can do. She makes up her mind to be the best bride for the Kamishiro family. She must serve her husband well. The Kamishiro family are also expecting her. Standing in a room is a man. Well, half-man, or beast-man, whatever. A golden-eyed wolfman is waiting. It seems this beast-man is Sei's husband, and he is not happy. Sei arrives at the massive Kamishiro estate shaking with fear. This is the home of the Empire's legendary apothecaries, and her new husband, the sixth lord of the Kamishiro family, Lord Suhaku Kamishiro. But our female lead feels no joy. All she can think about is if her husband is as scary as the rumors claim he is. Everyone warned her he's terrifying. Chio even claimed that the Kamishiros ate someone last week. Although she wishes Sei to have a happy life with her new husband, we all know she is just cursing her to die. Sei still carries that fear, but when she sees the man she is supposed to marry, she is stunned. Can this handsome man with white hair and golden eyes really be the renowned monster and human eater? Answer: yes. When the man knows she is Sei Fujigamine, his new bride, he immediately becomes angry and hostile. He clearly isn't pleased to be marrying a human like her. He detests humans so much he would rather watch his family fall into ruin than marry a human. But his stubborn mother forced this marriage and this human bride on him. He is, however, determined to chase her away. He begins to change into his beast form, planning on scaring her so much she will regret coming here in the first place. And Sei is indeed scared. Who wouldn't be? Seeing this giant white wolf appear in front of you. Just one bite and it is over for her. But she knows she can't show this fear. So when Lord Suhaku asks if she is afraid, Sei lies that she isn't. He doesn't believe her at all, especially seeing the way she keeps trembling. He warns her to leave if she doesn't want to get eaten right now. The man has given her a chance to escape. Sei would love nothing more than to do that, but a life even worse than this is waiting for her if she leaves here. Returning to her uncle's house will be worse than death, so she decides to stay. She is prepared to be Suhaku's wife. The man gives her an impossible challenge: to make the other beastmen accept her as his bride. He doesn't believe she can do it, certain she will fail and run away soon. Sei immediately falls to the floor as soon as he leaves. Those people didn't lie. Lord Suhaku is seriously frightening. She is ready to begin her mission, but only then does she understand how difficult it is. The people here all seem to dislike her and avoid her every day. The servants mock her. The beastmen gossip about her. Nobody wants her there. They all believe she is going to run away, especially since Lord Suhaku hates humans. There is no way their marriage will work out. Sei is disappointed. Ever since her parents died, she tried to find a place where she is welcomed, but no one seems to want her. Not her uncle's family, not her first husband, and now not even the whole Kamishiro estate. But our girl isn't going to give up. She is determined to find a place for herself no matter what it takes. She decides to survive the only way she knows, by working herself to the bone. She is determined to prove her usefulness and goes about helping the servants do their work. What she doesn't know is that someone is watching her. Lord Suhaku finds this new bride mysterious, especially that sweet scent on her. He seems to know her from somewhere. Our female lead has spent 10 days in the Kamishiro's mansion, but there is still no progress. The people in the mansion still dislike her, always gossiping about her every day. They believe she is just faking her concern and is pretending to help them out. In reality, she must look down on them. They can't wait for her to leave. Sei already expected this behavior from them. The humans and beastmen have always lived apart. They never had any relationship, and even when they did, it was always unpleasant. Sei knew they were never going to accept her easily. In fact, she has no hopes for this marriage. She is only helping the servants out while waiting for this engagement to be called off. Surrounded by people who don't like her, Sei desperately misses the one person who does, Maru. She is busy thinking of him when suddenly someone crashes into her. Sei sees a maid behind her. The girl has dropped the clothes she just washed and is freaking out about it. Our female lead decides to help her and the two go off to do the laundry together. The maid feels bad for letting the Lord's fiancé help her out, but Sei doesn't see anything wrong with it. She even bandages the girl's injured wrist, making sure she is fine. The girl is touched by Sei's actions and smiles at her, thanking her. Sei is almost blinded by that beautiful smile and starts blushing. The two are just about to start a cute friendship when Suhaku suddenly appears. He doesn't look very happy to see Sei still here and drags her off to scold her again. He doesn't believe she actually wants to help the servants. He thinks she's pretending, just like all humans do. When Sei asks him if he really dislikes humans, he tells her he does. The humans have always hated the beastmen, looking down on them and calling them filthy animals. He believes Sei is the same too. Now Sei understands why those beastmen all stayed away from her. But Suhaku is wrong. She doesn't dislike the beast tribe. Suhaku is eager to do everything he can to get rid of this human fiancé. He tries to scare her off by telling her the things she would need to do if they get married, live among other beastmen, and attend social events with him. He tells Sei she will also have to take care of his physical needs, especially during his rut period. I think we all know what that is, mating season. Sei can almost hear her own heart beating, but it isn't love. She knows Suhaku will want his own children, but the thought triggers her traumatic memories of her ex-husband. She imagines she is still with him and starts to have a panic attack. Unexpectedly, it is this seemingly heartless husband that rushes to help her. He hugs her tightly, comforts her until she calms down, then he pushes her away. He tries to go back to his tough guy image, but we all know now that he is just a softie. Sei also feels this way. Held in his strong arms and hearing his voice, for the first time in years, Sei feels safe. Our female lead's past marriage was anything but pleasant. In fact, it was a nightmare. The man wasn't someone she loved, but a husband prepared by her uncle's family. Her uncle, eager to form connections, married her off to the only son of a kimono seller. Her ex-husband was good at pretending. In front of others, he was a cheerful person, which made everyone around jealous of her marriage. But in private, he was a beast. He would hit Sei, calling her nasty names and would even chase her away sometimes. Just like all women beaters, he would apologize later, only to repeat it the next day. Our girl is just minding her business, washing her clothes when the rumors start up again. The nosy beastmen, while watching her, mock her efforts. They think she is useless. No matter what she does or how much she helps them, they would never trust a human like her. Hearing her fiancé's family call her useless just makes Sei determined to prove them wrong. She goes about helping with everything. Sewing, sweeping, cleaning, washing, just doing anything. Sei tells herself she needs to try harder, but she knows it might not work. If even her own future husband can't accept her, then it is impossible for his people to. But she still wants to keep trying. She pushes her human body far beyond its limits, all because of that one moment of warmth from Suhaku. But she might have forgotten something. She isn't a beastman. Her fragile human body can't take it anymore. And one day, she faints in her room. Lord Suhaku might pretend not to care, but he still notices Sei's absence during the day. He thinks he has scared her into running away, but Sei's new friend tells him she fainted from a fever. The maid had something to ask Sei and went looking for her. Otherwise, our girl might really have died. Suhaku really doesn't want to interact with humans. All his life, they always mocked and insulted him. It doesn't matter that his family is noble. The humans look down on them just because they are beastmen. What annoys Suhaku is how they act all superior, yet they are very weak. He always thought humans are evil, but this one human girl makes him feel something he doesn't understand. Sei is asleep, but she is having a nightmare again. This time, she is tied up and locked underground by her aunt. No matter how hard she begs, the woman refuses to free her and punishes her to stay there for a night. Even worse, Chio comes to mock Sei, eager to enjoy the look of suffering on Seiya's face. Next it is her uncle, who finds her an embarrassment for being divorced and returning home. He even wishes she was burned to death with her parents. Sei begs for mercy in her sleep, and then she feels someone beside her. Sei wakes up to see Lord Suhaku sitting at her bedside. He is here to take care of his little fiancée. He checks her temperature and even feeds her the Kamishiro family's legendary medicine, something priceless and usually reserved for the highest elites. Sei can't believe she is eating such precious medicine. This drug is said to be able to heal any sickness in the world. Why would he give something so valuable to someone like her? Lord Suhaku watches her sleep. He has noticed some things about his fiancée. She is far too thin, her ribs are visible, she cried in her dreams, and she even begged to die. This is not a spoiled noble girl. This is someone who has suffered deeply. Now Suhaku is curious about her life. He thought she would be like those other spoiled women since her Fujigamin family is a wealthy one. But now it seems something terrible was really happening to her. Suhaku feels bad because he knows how unwelcoming his people have been. He knows his female servants have always been suspicious of her. The little maid confirms everything. No matter what Sei does, the servants still insult her behind her back. Suhaku realizes the truth. He caused all this. His hostility made everyone dislike her. He scared her on purpose and pushed her too hard, all because he doesn't want this marriage. Yet she still smiles at him. She speaks nicely to him and thanks him. No matter how cruel he is, she still stays. Why? For the first time, Suhaku doesn't know what to do with this feeling in his chest. The next morning, Sei is awake and feeling better. She believes it must be the medicine Suhaku gave her and is grateful to him. For once, she didn't have any scary or sad dreams. She is ready to go out and start working again. She doesn't feel comfortable staying in the Kamishiro estate without doing anything. She is afraid those people would see her as useless. But when she steps out, she sees something that gives her a fright. There is an unexpected person sitting outside her door. When she opens her door, Lord Suhaku is sitting outside waiting for her. He is here to see Sei and make sure she is all right, but he is too shy to say it. The two sit in silence for a while until Sei starts apologizing. She thinks Suhaku is unhappy with her, but he stops her and admits he was the one who caused trouble for her. Sei is stunned when she hears him asking about her health. Seeing her going out so early, he is sure she is going back to do those servants' chores again. He warns her to stop doing that and says he has something to tell her today. Sei has prepared herself for the worst. She is convinced Suhaku is about to break off their engagement, but nothing prepares her for what she is about to hear. This time, when Suhaku turns into his beast form, Sei is not at all scared. She knows the wolf isn't a monster. He is the one who stayed by her side, cared for her, and protected her when she was at her weakest. Sei has never received any love or care from others, even when sick. So what Suhaku did is enough to gain her trust. Suhaku finally says the words Sei never expected to hear. He tells her he doesn't trust humans, but he is willing to trust her. Suhaku doesn't know what is wrong with him. At first, it was this woman's scent that drew him in. Her scent was familiar, but he is sure he has never met her before. Curious, he decided to watch her, but somehow fell for her innocent gaze. Now he is ready to give humans a chance. No one is more shocked and happy than Sei right now. Not only is Suhaku finally calling her name, he is ready to trust her. But her happiness doesn't last long because she remembers her secret, the one her uncle forced her to hide, the truth about her first marriage. Sei doesn't want to deceive Suhaku. If Suhaku wants trust, she must tell him the truth. So our female lead goes ahead to tell Suhaku she has already been married once. Sei is terrified just recalling her past marriage. She tries to explain but trembles so badly she can barely speak. Suhaku gently stops her. He doesn't care why she divorced. He doesn't want her to force herself to relive the trauma. He only cares about her. The male lead understands why she was so scared before. He believes her failed marriage must be why she isn't close to her uncle's family. But what bothers him is the knowledge that there is another unmarried daughter in the Fujigamin's house. For them to send a divorced daughter out means the other daughter refused to marry a beastman. So Sei, the abused, unwanted niece, was forced to take her place. The male lead lets Sei know he isn't bothered. Her past doesn't change anything. She is his fiancée, and he intends to keep it that way. Such a sweet confession, and yet all Sei can do is cry. The great wolf lord panics over his crying human bride. Now he wonders if she even wants to stay by his side or actually wants to break off the engagement. He is already panicking when Sei finally tells him she is very happy. In fact, our female lead has been very afraid. She was worried she would be chased out of the Kamashiro's estate just like she has been chased out of everywhere else. Ever since her parents died in that fire, it seemed like Sei had no place to go. No one wanted her, until Lord Suhaku took her hands. Now she also wants to put her trust in him too. On the other side of town, things aren't so rosy and sweet. Sei's wicked cousin Chio is throwing a tantrum. She can't believe the horrible marriage proposals being brought to her. She finds all the men irritating. What she wants is a perfect husband, the kind she can show off to Sei and use to make her cousin jealous. Just the thought of how terrified Sei must be living among the beastmen makes Chio very happy. She believes Sei must be miserable now, wishing she was never married into such a terrifying place. Little does she know she is wrong. For some reason, Chio keeps comparing herself to Sei. She believes she is young, super cute, and better than Sei. Therefore, she must find the perfect husband, so she can rub her marriage in Sei's face and make her feel more miserable. What a psychopath. But as they say, wishes never come true, especially not for someone as terrible as Chio. Chio returns home and receives a letter. For a moment, she thinks it is a rich, handsome admirer, only to discover it is from someone she considers beneath her. Irritated and bored without Sei to torment, she actually starts missing the terrified expression Sei always made. Her day takes a turn when Sei's dog suddenly barks at her. Disgusted and hating anything connected to Sei, Chio plots to get rid of the dog, but her mother refuses. She wants to keep the dog alive so she can use it as an excuse to squeeze more money from the Kamishiro family. Angry, Chio goes to complain to her father, but he snaps at her for bothering him with something so meaningless. Just then, an assistant arrives with a letter from the Kamishiro estate. Convinced it must be a letter to cancel the engagement, Chio tries to snatch it, only for her father to slam the table and order her out. She leaves, feeling extremely wronged. She has always been her parents' priority, but now everything is about Sei and her marriage. Chio is consumed with jealousy and hatred. In her mind, Sei has stolen her parents, and for that, she vows never to forgive her. Meanwhile, Sei remains blissfully unaware that a target is being placed on her back. She still believes she must be dreaming now that Suhaku has accepted her as his fiancée. She is determined to become the perfect wife for him. Sei receives a visit from the little maid she once helped. The girl is here to check on Sei and see if she is better. Sei suddenly remembers it was this maid who found her in her room when she fainted. If she hadn't come, who knows what would have happened. Sei is both thankful and sorry. She believes she caused the girl trouble and apologizes. The maid can't accept this apology, especially since she also has a little secret she is hiding from Sei. She isn't a good person like Sei thinks. Even though Sei was so kind to her, she avoided her because she was afraid of what the other beastmen would say if they saw them together. She feels guilty and begs for Sei's forgiveness, but Sei is simply happy someone wants to talk to her. The two decide to become friends, and the maid introduces herself as Riri, a squirrel beast woman. Riri explains why the beastmen distrust humans. Humans have used their power to oppress them, even having beastmen arrested over rumors alone. Their peaceful lives were destroyed all because of the humans. Riri is convinced Sei is different. She wants to help clear Sei's name. She promises to tell everyone how kind Sei truly is, including the Lord himself. And just then, Lord Suhaku arrives. Lord Suhaku claims he came for something important, but the moment he tries to speak, he starts stammering. Before Sei can figure out what is wrong, a man suddenly appears behind Suhaku and exposes him. Suhaku doesn't have anything important to say. He came simply because he wanted to see Sei. Suhaku is annoyed. His feelings are exposed this easily, but he still tries to pretend he isn't shy. The man points out how nervous he is. The two start arguing, and if I didn't know better, I would think they are a couple. The newcomer is Suhaku's aide, Tadamasa. He still can't believe Suhaku finally agreed to having a human as his bride. Tadamasa then turns to Sei, telling her she can stop pretending now. She no longer needs to do servant work or act humble. She can flaunt her new status as Suhaku's wife-to-be in front of those female servants who insulted her. Everyone is shocked to hear Tadamasa speak like this, but Sei refuses. She never planned to flaunt in front of those servants. She is the only human among beastmen. If she did that, she would never gain their trust. She knows she must gain the beastmen's trust slowly and respectfully. Sei is determined to do her best and eventually get them to accept her as Suhaku's fiancée. Everyone is shocked by her maturity, but they are also pleased to hear this, especially Tadamasa, who ends up flustered for the first time. He apologizes for saying such things, but Sei doesn't get angry because he is telling the truth. Plus, she believes the man is trying to help her out. Tadamasa is stunned to see her smiling and doesn't understand why she isn't angry with him. He looks so confused, Lord Suhaku can't hold it anymore. He actually bursts into laughter. He is proud that Sei managed to throw his composed assistant off balance. He praises Sei for being able to get his assistant flustered for the first time. Sei, however, is blushing because Suhaku looks so good smiling, and he is actually smiling for her. It makes her happy. The men continue making fun of each other. Tadamasa points out that Suhaku is actually smiling. He usually carries such a cold face. It must be because Sei is here. Watching the two of them, Sei feels like they seem more like friends than servant and master. The three of them go for a walk. The male lead has asked Riri to announce to the other servants that Sei is officially his fiancée. Afterwards, he shyly reveals the real reason he came. He wants to take Sei somewhere special. Their first date turns out to be the medicine room. Not the most romantic place, but for Suhaku, it's special because nobody else is ever allowed inside. This is Lord Suhaku's workplace, where he plants all his medical herbs and creates medicine. He tells Sei apart from him, no one else is allowed in here. He brought Sei here because he wants some private time with her. Inside the medicine room, Suhaku fusses over Sei non-stop, worried the smell might bother her or that she might fall. Sei reassures him she's fine, but he still offers to hold her hand to prevent her from falling. Suhaku wants to know if Sei has ever seen a beastman actually eat a human. Sei realizes the truth. She has only ever heard rumors from different people. She has never actually seen it happen. Suhaku tells her a secret. The taste of human blood is like drugs to the beastmen. Once they taste it, they can never forget the taste or stop craving it. However, the only beastmen who eat people are those who have tasted human blood. But this issue has caused a lot of problems between the beastmen and the human race. The humans believe all beastmen eat people, but it isn't true. Some of the beastmen clan, like the Kamashiros, hate human eaters. Suhaku promises Sae she is safe. He has never eaten a human before and never has anyone in his family. He promises to protect Sae. Moved, Sae confesses that she's no longer afraid because she now has him by her side. The words make Suhaku so shy, he almost kicks her out just to hide his red face. He rushes to find some work to do to hide his nervousness. Sei isn't ready to go, however, and offers to help him do some work. They begin planting herbs and mixing medicines together. Sei is happy he didn't refuse her. She watches Lord Suhaku make medicine and admires him even more. The Beastman's medicine is known to be super good. It cures any illness. In fact, all the previous emperors have been using it. Sei knows her family company wants to start selling this medicine overseas. The Kamashiros also want to spread the medicine, and so the two families decided to join through marriage. Sei knows her marriage is just to seal a business contract, but she wants more than that. She wants to be useful to this man. Her chance comes when Suhaku asks her to read a foreign medical text, and Sei reads the language effortlessly. She explains her father once taught her during the 15 years they lived abroad. Back then, her father moved abroad to start up the Fujigamine Trading Company, and she and her mother moved together with him. She was always interested in foreign novels, so her father bought her a few books. He would teach her those languages as they read together. But after she returned to the country, she was forbidden from learning any foreign languages. Suhaku is confused by her story. He doesn't understand why a daughter of the Fujigamine family would be stopped from speaking foreign languages. Her father worked so hard to teach her, so why was she stopped from using it? Suhaku is shocked when she quietly reveals the truth. After her father died, her uncle forbade her from reading, burned her books, and destroyed the last gifts her father gave her. This time, Suhaku can no longer hide how angry he is. He knew something must have happened to make her wish she was dead, but he never expected it to be so bad, and for such horrible treatment to come from her own family. Suhaku feels bad for making Sei remember such bad memories. Sei doesn't blame him nor her uncle, even though her uncle has always hated her father and also hates her too. She is grateful to him for taking her in. Just as Sei wishes, she can finally help Suhaku. He wants her to translate the medical text for him. Sei is beginning to doubt herself now. She doesn't feel she is good enough and asks him to find an expert, but Suhaku refuses. He wants Sei to do the job and reminds her of all the efforts her father put into training her. He advises her not to disappoint her father. Sei knows he is right. She remembers all the times her father praised her and is ready to make him proud. She also wants to do this for Suhaku. He could have found an expert, but he chose her to do it. She must repay his trust. Sei is beginning to regret praying so hard now. She is staying up late at night trying to translate the book. She wants to be useful to Lord Suhaku, but right now she can barely read anything in this text. It has been so long since she read a foreign text, and this book is full of difficult medical terms. But still, Sei is happy to do it. She finally gets to read the foreign text she loves and be useful to her new husband. Meanwhile, Suhaku is far from calm. In fact, our male lead is furious. He asks Tadamasa to carry out an investigation on Sei's background, and what he hears makes him very angry. From what the maids said, the Fujigamins have been treating Sei very badly. They refuse to give her food or let her sleep properly, and would even lock her up claiming they were disciplining her. Suhaku feels like destroying everything right now. He transforms into his beast form, his rage shaking the room. Even Tadamasa retreats in fear. Suhaku orders his aide to send a message to the Fujigamines. He is planning on holding a party to announce his engagement to Sei. He wants to use this party to warn the Fujigamine family. Back at the Fujigamine home, Jiru Fujigamine has received the letter announcing his niece's engagement to the Kamishiro family. The rest of the family are with him. Chio is enraged and jealous. She isn't pleased to hear a party is being held for her cousin and plans to humiliate Sei at the ball. Chio's mother is happy to hear the engagement is still going on. She was afraid they would call it off, and her source of money would be gone. Her husband also thinks the same thing. He despises the Beastmen but plans to exploit their medicine once Sei marries Suhaku. He will use it to make himself rich. They have no idea Suhaku's invitation is not a celebration, but a warning. The day of the engagement party arrives. Sei dresses in a gown specially prepared by Suhaku. She is nervous because for the first time, she will stand before both families as the future Lady Kamishiro. Our female lead is afraid, wondering if she will be able to host this party well, not only as Suhaku's fiancée, but also as Fujigamini's daughter. The girl desperately needs her companion, Maru, right now. Riri brings some white gloves for Sei to wear, but when she does, it completely exposes the scars on Sei's palms. They were the burn marks she got from the fire that killed her parents. Riri is sorry for her, and they decide to stick to her normal black gloves. Riri starts doing Sei's hair. She and all the other Kamishiro estate maids will attend the party as servers. She earnestly wishes to see both Sei and Suhaku happy. Sei is grateful for her friend. Riri might not know, but just seeing her smile is enough to encourage Sei. The couple meets up outside to head to the party. When Suhaku sees Sei, he freezes. Blushing, stammering, completely undone, he can't believe how beautiful she looks. Sei feels the same. He's so handsome it leaves her breathless. Now she is afraid to stand next to him because he is so beautiful. Suhaku tells her not to be scared because he is going to be by her side. They head into the grand ballroom together. Meanwhile, Chiyo arrives with her fiancé, Kiyoshi Kaneko, intending to show him off to Sae. She is prepared to laugh at Sae, but is stunned by how beautiful the hall and the Kamoshiro's estate are. It is worse when the fiancé she brought also starts praising her sister. Chiyo is about to show her ugly side, but she still needs to use him to make Sae jealous. Her fiancé is Kiyoshi Kaneko, the heir to a large trading company. Chiyo believes he must be better than Sei's beast fiancé, but reality proves her wrong. Her great fiancé tells her he cannot even afford to have such a grand party for her. Kaneko informs her that the Kamoshiros are not just wealthy, they are a noble family and important to the entire nation because of their medicines. Even the emperor relies on their drugs. Chiyo thought that was just a rumor. Kaneko tells her the Kamoshiro are a noble beast clan family. They might not appear in public very often, but they are the most respected in society or among nobles. They are a very powerful family. Chiyo is starting to feel regret. The only way she can cope is by convincing herself that Sei's fiancé is just some ugly beast man with a horrible personality. His medicine must be the only good thing about him, but she is about to be slapped in the face. Our couple arrives and the whole crowd starts talking about them. They keep praising the two for being a good match. Chiyo also looks back and is shocked to see the handsome Suhaku. She cannot believe this handsome man was the one she was supposed to marry, and she gave him to Sei. Chiyo can't believe she just gave such an opportunity away to Sei. Not only is this man rich, but he is also handsome. Suddenly, she doesn't find the fiancé she brought so attractive anymore. Even in wealth, he can't compare to the Kamoshiro's family or Lord Suhaku. She feels disgusted and embarrassed to be seen with him and immediately walks away, leaving him behind. Chiyo isn't the only one shocked. Her mother is also surprised to see how wealthy the Kamoshiros actually are. She too feels some regret. She should have forced her daughter to marry the beastman. She blames her husband for not telling her about this. All he cares about is his business. She is thinking about how to fix this mess. Well, she and her daughter definitely share the same brain. Chiyo is here to find her mother, and she has a suggestion for her. Our couple is greeting everyone and having fun when Tadamasa suddenly shows up. He has bad news for Suhaku. There is a suspicious person walking around their mansion. He didn't manage to catch the person because they left as soon as they noticed him. Suhaku tells him to keep guard. Another bad news, or rather, a bad person is here again. It is Jiro Fujigamine, Sei's uncle. This is the first time the two men have met in person. Suhaku is still polite, apologizing for not coming to see the man sooner. However, Jiro isn't so polite and calls Sei useless right in front of her fiancé. Marriages like theirs between humans and beastmen are extremely rare, especially those from noble families. Jiro feels bad for giving Suhaku such a useless girl in exchange. He tells Suhaku that all he needs to do is train her well after marriage. Our male lead is furious and wants to speak to her uncle alone. The two head to the study to talk. Jiro hasn't seen Suhaku's mother at the engagement. Suhaku reveals she is sick and is resting somewhere far away. After the death of his father, his mother has always been worried about the Kamoshiro family, afraid it would go to ruin. She always believed it was important for humans and beastmen to coexist, which was why she arranged a marriage between the Kamoshiro and Fujigamine families. She believes it would create a wonderful future for them. It is such a touching story that all Jiro can do is laugh in his head. He never considered partnering with the Kamoshiros. To him, Suhaku might be the family head, but he is still just a young, ignorant boy. Since his family will be the one selling the medicine, he can already imagine how much money he can steal just by falsifying the accounts. He really likes the beastmen now. They're so ignorant. They have no idea they are about to feed him, but unfortunately, his grand plans of thievery are all wasted. Suhaku has no plans of feeding this ingrate. He already caught news that someone was selling bad medicine to people some years ago, and lying it was the beastman's medicine. He suspects it was the Fujigamine's family. Seeing Jiru's nervous face, Suhaku is sure of his thoughts. He asked Tadamasa to investigate the Fujigamine family, and found out they were the ones most likely to have been selling that medicine years ago. Suhaku didn't manage to gather enough evidence to convict the man. The dealings were mostly done in secret between noble families, but now he is extremely cautious. If Jiro could do that years ago, then he might also abuse their family's medicine as well. He can't allow them to continue. Jiro is wondering if someone has already exposed him, but he refuses to confess and is determined to pretend he knows nothing. He tells Suhaku this is the first time he has heard such news. Suhaku doesn't argue with him. He only has one thing to tell him. From now on, the Kamoshiro family will closely monitor the Fujigamin family's sales of their medicine. Suhaku is determined not to let such a thing happen again. They shake hands to seal the deal, but each man has his own thoughts. Jiro is annoyed, but he plans to play along for now. Suhaku, on the other hand, is planning to use this opportunity to keep his medicine safe and also protect his fiancée from her old family. Sei has no idea what the two are talking about. She just feels cold remembering how her uncle looked at her like she wasn't even human. It really scared her. But even worse is about to come. Chio and her mother are here. The two witches have made their way here to torment Sei once again. As soon as our female lead sees the mother and daughter, she knows bad things are about to happen. But she still has to greet them. When she asks about her dog, her aunt pretends not to know. Seeing Sei so worried, she tells her there is another option. She comes back home to take care of the dog herself. When our girl doesn't understand, the aunt tells her she should just come back home, because she isn't going to be Lord Suhaku's fiancé anymore. Chio is very jealous. Seeing Sei's shocked face, she reminds Sei that she was the one who gave her the opportunity. She allowed Sei to take her place, but now she wants the position back. Sei is in disbelief. She reminds her sister that she is already engaged, but Chio has already broken off that engagement. She is determined to get Suhaku back from Sei. Our girl is reluctant. She tells them it isn't possible, but the mother and daughter are too delusional. They believe they can talk to the Kamishiro family later and switch the brides. Now all they want is for Sei to come back home with them. Her auntie promises to take good care of her again, but Sei knows that means more beating and punishment. She can't accept that she will have to go back to being abused and maltreated again. Even though the Kamishiros are beastmen, she has begun to feel safe in their estate, especially when she is around Suhaku. She has already planned their future. After marriage, she would bring Maru back and they can finally live peaceful lives. But that dream seems impossible now. The two women gang up on her, persuading her to call off her engagement for her cousin. Sei can't breathe and is just about to give in when someone suddenly stops her. Lord Suhaku is here. Yes, help us destroy those witches. The two women are shocked to see the Lord. Chio starts acting all shy. After seeing how handsome and rich he is, she suddenly doesn't care about him being a beastman. Chio has made up her mind to snatch her sister's fiancé, so when the man asks what they were talking about, she starts to say bad things about Sei. Pretending to be shy, she says she came here to apologize to Suhaku on her cousin's behalf. She tells him Sei has deceived him. She claims she is his real fiancé, and Sei stole him away from her. Not only that, she directly reveals that Sei has been married before, but her ex-husband divorced her. Chio believes Sei isn't fit to be his wife. She tells Lord Suhaku she was worried about him, so she came to beg Sei to stop hurting him. And finally, Sei agreed to break off their engagement and come home. Sei has said no such thing, but before she can protest, her aunt grabs her and threatens to harm her dog if she says anything. Chio is now touching Lord Suhaku as she earnestly advertises herself. She even promises to do her wifely duties better than Sei. What a shameless saleswoman. She really believes she is younger, cuter, and deserves more praise than Sei. But what she doesn't know is that her twisted personality is showing. She and her dumb mother are smiling, thinking they have gotten the man, but they are going to be disappointed. Lord Suhaku pushes the girl away and tells her she is disgusting. Her acting skills are trash, and he needs her to stop. He tells them they must really think he is a fool to believe their nonsense. Lord Suhaku completely disgraces the mother and daughter. He tells them he is fully aware that Sei has been married before. And in fact, she told him herself. He wants Chio to stop talking about it like it is a big sin because it doesn't really matter to him. This doesn't make the girl stop. She is so determined to ruin Sei's engagement that she plans to reveal the biggest secret their whole family has been hiding. The truth about why Sei's husband divorced her. The truth is that Chio can't have children. Chio is happy, especially when she sees Cyan so scared now. She calls her cousin useless and barren. Even after 5 years, she has never had a child for her husband. Those words trigger Sei's memories. She will never forget the beatings, the insults she had to bear just because she couldn't have children. Her husband would say she was causing him and his parents trouble, but no one ever thought about her position. Every time he would forcefully sleep with her, but it never worked. Sei remembers those things now, and she can hardly breathe. Chio is happy to see her like this. She proudly tells Suhaku how Sai's ex-husband cheated and then got another woman pregnant. After that, he finally divorced Sei. Our girl can't take it anymore. She begs her cousin to stop. She remembers how proud her husband had been to show off that woman's pregnancy. He was just happy to prove the fault wasn't with him, but that didn't stop him from forcing her one last time. Chio really thinks she has done something. She starts to self-advertise herself like goods again, desperate to take her cousin's place. Seriously, girl, just stop. She tells Suhaku he should marry someone younger, like her, and not a barren woman like Sei, who would end up being a problem for him. But she doesn't expect Suhaku to tell her to shut up. He tells the girl no matter what rubbish she opens her mouth to say, he will never accept anyone other than Sei as his fiancée. He even drags our girl to his side and presents her to them. This is the only woman he wants. He tells Chio he has no interest in a woman like her who self-advertises herself like some common goods. Poor girl, imagine a barren, divorced woman being chosen over a young, cute girl like you. Go male lead. The mother and daughter have been pretending to be innocent, but Suhaku already knows everything they did to Sei. He hasn't done anything to them because they are his wife's mother and sister. But if they continue talking rubbish about her, he wouldn't think twice about destroying them. Sei's aunt is finally scared. Suddenly, she remembers that Suhaku is a beastman and a powerful one at that. He isn't touching her, but she feels like she is choking. It seems like a terrifying beast is holding her throat. She is so scared that she starts begging for forgiveness. Chio is still delusional, asking why they should beg for their forgiveness. She keeps talking. saying the Lord will be unhappy to marry her sister. But this time, even her mother doesn't support her. She tells her to shut up and also apologize. No matter how unwilling the girl is, she still has to obey her mother. And so she apologizes to our female lead. Sei looks at the two women and remembers a time when everything was good. Back when her parents were alive, her uncle would bring his family over. Little Chio would hug her, always calling her big sister. The two sisters were affectionate. Sei really thought they had a good relationship, but it was after her parents died that she found out her uncle's family actually disliked them. Looking at the two women now, Sei wonders where it all went wrong. How did they turn out like this? Sei's aunt is afraid Suhaku might mention this incident to her husband. Turns out Jiru wasn't aware of their foolish plan. Suhaku doesn't want anything to ruin the engagement party he prepared for Sei, so he promises not to say anything. But that doesn't mean he has forgiven them. They leave the mother and daughter behind. Once they are gone, Sei immediately bows down and starts begging for Suhaku's forgiveness. She really didn't mean to hide the truth about her last marriage and how she couldn't have children. Sei is expecting his anger, but what she gets is a long and warm hug. Sei is feeling really guilty for not telling him, but Suhaku doesn't want her to apologize. He has always known she couldn't have children during her last marriage. The two are just about to start confessing some sweet feelings when an unwelcome visitor arrives. From the face Lord Suhaku is giving him, Tadamasa is sure he must have interrupted them. He nervously announces it is time for the dance to begin. As the main couple of the day, they need to be the ones starting the dance. Once he gives his message, he immediately runs for his life. Sei still wants to speak to Suhaku and explain everything to him herself. The two plan to meet later to discuss, but first, they go downstairs to start dancing. All Sei can think about during the dance is how much Lord Suhaku still wants her after knowing she can't have children. She doesn't want her fears to destroy this new marriage and has made up her mind to tell him everything. Meanwhile, the wicked cousin still can't believe everything that happened today. When she hears people praising the couple, it just makes her even more jealous. She even yells at her fiancé when he tries to speak to her and tells him she doesn't like him anymore. She really wants to break off their engagement. Chio feels pain anytime she hears people praising her cousin and her fiancé. It feels like they are all humiliating her. She is so annoyed that she just leaves the hall without even caring about the man she brought. But as she walks away angrily, someone is staring at her with an evil smile. It looks like something is going to happen to our Miss Cute. Sei and her man have separated. Suhaku goes off to greet some people while Sei just watches the party. Until suddenly, she hears a loud scream. It seems like someone is being attacked. The person seems to be a foreigner. No one can understand what he is saying, except for Sei. She rushes to the place to see a man squatting and crying while a beast woman stands near him. It looks like the beast woman is about to eat him. Of course not. The poor beast woman is just here to deliver drinks, but the foreigner misunderstands and thinks she is about to eat him. Both of them can't understand each other's language, so it causes such a big misunderstanding. It is quite fun to watch such a big man begging for his life, but he is also making the cute dog woman scared too. Finally, Sei appears and separates them. She comforts the scared beast woman and explains to the man that the woman just wanted to serve him drinks. The man is a partner of their Fujigamine trading company and is surprised when he hears Sei speaking a foreign language. Once he realizes it was all a misunderstanding, he is embarrassed and apologizes. He has always been afraid of beastmen, which is why he was so scared. Sei tells him she was once like him, always scared of the beast tribe because of her ignorance. But once she got to know them, especially her husband, she found out they are really gentle. Because of Sei, the man is able to speak to the beast woman while she interprets for them. After apologizing, he suddenly sees how pretty the beast woman is and even starts asking for her name. Looks like a love story is about to start. Everyone around, especially the beastmen, is also praising Sei. Not only can she speak foreign languages, but she also treats the beast woman very gently. They are all proud of her. Suhaku is very happy to see his people accept his wife. He is also happy to see her defending his people. Suddenly, he wants to have that conversation with her and invites her to come outside with him. Sei is finally telling Suhaku her story. At first, she was extremely happy to marry her ex-husband. He might have been chosen by her uncle, but he was also her ticket out of that wicked household. But how could the person her uncle chose ever be good? Her husband was not only an animal abuser, but also a wife beater. After hitting her, he would proceed to forcefully sleep with her using the excuse of making babies. Her married life was indeed very miserable, but still she tried to stay, convincing herself her husband would be nicer to her if she could just have a child. Then she would finally be able to live a happy life with her dog and her baby. So she endured everything he did to her, dreaming of a future that would never happen. Eventually, her husband got another woman pregnant. Sei wasn't sad about that. She already knew he had several lovers. What made her despair was realizing it was her fault they could never have children. Speaking to Suhaku now, she tells him there might also be a possibility she won't be able to give him children either. She apologizes for hiding something so big from him, but Suhaku really isn't concerned about that. He is someone who only cares about his medicine and finding more techniques to move his family's business forward. If not for his mother forcing him, he would never have thought about marrying. And even more so, the humans he dislikes. But now that he has met her, his feelings have changed. Of course, he wants children, but more than that, he would like to marry her. Even if they can't have children together, he would still choose to marry her and no one else. Being embraced by him makes Sei's heart melt. To this man who has chosen her over and over again, she is ready to give herself to him. When she tells him yes, her smile is so bright, it affects Lord Sohaku. Anytime he sees her smile, his feelings for her always increase, and it makes it hard for him to hold back his desire to touch her. This time, he doesn't hold back and actually kisses her neck. Sei doesn't find it unpleasant at all. She is just very shy. Suhaku wonders if that is why she smells so sweet. Ever since he met her, her sweet scent has stuck to him so much that he can never forget it. Even though he was meeting her for the first time, his beast already knew her scent. Our female lead can't control herself right now. Everything about this man just makes her heart beat. From how gentle he is, to how good his voice sounds. She knows this is just an arranged marriage, a business contract even, but the way Suhaku is looking at her with so much heat almost makes her believe he has deep feelings for her. Suhaku asks her the question that has always been on his mind. Have they met somewhere before? Before she can answer, all the lights suddenly go off. There is a blackout at the banquet. Suhaku sends someone to investigate, and they discover that someone purposely cut off the power supply. When Tadamasa goes to look at it, he sees someone suspicious in the garden and goes after them. Sei is comforting the beast woman. They are all afraid, but she tells them to stay calm, stay together, and promises them Sohaku is already fixing the problem. The man himself appears and asks her to help explain the situation to those guests who speak foreign languages. The wicked cousin is also afraid. Someone hits her and she almost falls, but she is saved. Her savior turns out to be the man she abandoned, her fiancé, Kiyoshi Kaneko. He is worried she might fall again and suggests they go into the garden. The two go outside. Chio, eager to seduce Suhaku, thought she wouldn't need this fiancé again. Now that her plan has failed, she has decided to settle with him. She tries to convince herself she doesn't want Lord Sohaku because he is a beastman. She keeps telling herself Sei will soon regret her choice, but it seems she should have been worried about herself. Kiyoshi Kaneko is no longer the lovely man he pretended to be. He grabs Chio and tells her he has always hated how proud and arrogant she is. He calls her the stupid daughter of a rotten merchant and lets her know he also settled for her. She is not the one he wants at all. Sei and Suhaku are busy checking around when they suddenly hear a scream from the garden. They rush outside to see a beastman holding down a human. It is Tadamasa, and he has caught the person who cut off the power supply. Suhaku praises him. Sei is happy thinking all their troubles are over number sign now, until she suddenly hears a voice screaming for help. When she looks over, she sees her cousin Chio. She seems to have injured her legs. Sei runs over to help her, although I don't know why, but the person she is helping is not grateful at all. Instead, she is wondering why this is happening to her. Maybe because you're a bad person? The men have also seen the girl. Suhaku asks the man on the floor if he hurt Sei's cozy, but he denies it. He tells them he was only hired to cut off the power supply and cause a power outage by a man. The group is wondering who that man is. There is no need for them to, because that same man is sneaking up to Chio and Sae. He is Kiyoshi Kaneko. Sei has no idea danger is coming. She hears sounds behind her, and when she looks back, Kaneko is standing there. The next time Sohaku sees Sae, she is being held hostage with a dagger around her neck. Kiyoshi Kaneko is using her to threaten Sohaku. Sohaku is confused because he doesn't know why Kaneko is doing this. Kaneko is almost crazy. It turns out he has a grudge against Sohaku. His family was among those who bought the illegal drugs that the Fujigamine family was selling years ago. The Fujigamines sold fake drugs to them, claiming it was the beastman's medicine. Jiru said it would cure Kaneko's mother, who was sick, so his family bought the drugs. Even though they were so expensive, he was willing to buy them just to save his mother. However, what did he get? His mother's dead body. Those drugs were fake, and his mother died immediately after taking them. Kaneko believes the Kamashiros are the ones selling those fake drugs, so has come to get his revenge. Suhaku denies these accusations. He tries to explain to the man that the medicine had nothing to do with his family, but Kaneko doesn't believe him. For Kaneko, the greatest proof is the marriage deal between the Fujigamine and Kamashiro families. He believes the two families must have been working together secretly. He purposely got close to Chio, just so he can sneak into this banquet and take his revenge on the two families. Kaneko believes there could have been other ways to treat his mother, but just because of these two families, his mother is now dead. That is why he wants to kill someone important to both the families, and that person is Sei. Everyone is afraid, especially when an injury appears on Sei's neck. But our girl can tell Kaneko is also afraid. He's just a boy who has lost his mother. She touches his hand and tells him she also met his mother. Back then, they were invited to the Fujigamine house, and his mother was very kind to her. She tells him the truth. It was always her family's fault and has nothing to do with the Kamashiro family. She is sure her uncle was the one purposely selling the fake drugs. She tells him the two families only just started to interact, so it is impossible for the beastman's family to be the one selling those fake medicines years ago. She wants Kaneko to believe them, but he refuses to accept that he is wrong. He wants to put all the blame on the beastman tribe. While he is distracted, Suhaku quickly changes into his beast form and moves to attack him. He manages to push the dagger away before the man can stab Sei. Our poor girl is so scared she can barely stand. Lord Suhaku grabs her before she falls, greatly worried about her. He is sorry for putting her in such danger and hugs her. Suhaku is still worried and asks Seiya to show him the wound on her neck, but that is his greatest mistake. Suhaku was planning on treating Sei's wound and asks her to show it to him, but that is his greatest mistake. All it takes is one look at Sei's wound, and Lord Suhaku is on fire. He can't control his body and immediately turns red. Something seems to be controlling him, begging him to just take a bite from Sei. His eyes turn red, and he can't stop it anymore. He pushes her against the wall and is just about to bite her when he suddenly stops. His senses come back, and our male lead is horrified to find out he almost killed his fiancée. Our girl doesn't know what her blood is doing to him. She tries to get close to him, but he screams at her not to touch him. Sei is hurt, but there is nothing Suhaku can do. He leaves her alone and lets Riri stay with her. Riri is there to worry about her, but all Sei wants to do is watch Lord Suhaku walk away so coldly. The engagement party ends peacefully, but what follows is a storm. Kaneko is not the only person in trouble. He was arrested for attempted murder, but after the accusations about selling fake drugs, the Fujigaminis are also going to be investigated. Sei's auntie is freaking out, afraid the military is going to find out everything they have been doing. If that happens, all the nobles who sold those fake drugs to them are going to come looking for them, asking for compensation. Even worse, she is afraid the Kamashiros might call off the engagement, but her husband isn't worried at all. He has thought of a plan. All they have to do is lie that they were also tricked and push all the blame to the foreign country they bought it from. He is also sure Lord Suhaku won't call off the engagement because of how much he likes Sei, and he is right. The parents are worried about being arrested, while all Chiyo can think of is how she was rejected by two men. She keeps recalling the way Lord Suhaku and even Kaneko insulted her. She doesn't understand why she is being treated this way, and like a normal human being, she decides not to blame those men. Instead, she blames Sei for getting in her way. She makes up her mind never to let Sei have peace. She will never let her get married happily. A few days have passed since that terrible part, but Riri still can't forget about how dangerous it was. She still worries about Sei's wound, but our female lead assures her it is fine. Sei also remembers that night, but she feels more pity for Kaneko. From his behavior when she spoke about his mother, Sei knows he must love her very much. Since she also lost her mother, she understands how much pain he must feel. Her mind is also filled with thoughts of her husband. She hasn't seen him since the day he shouted at her not to touch him. She misses him and is feeling sad when she hears a familiar bark. Guys, Maru is finally here. Thank God he is safe from those witches. Sei is very happy to see him and wonders how he got here. Tadamasa suddenly appears and tells her it was Lord Suhaku who ordered them to bring him over. The Lord knew how precious Maru is to Sei. He is her most precious family member, so he had them bring him over. Sei is touched to hear this and really wants to see Suhaku now. She has not seen him since the night of the party, but now she has a good excuse to go looking for him. All she has to say is she wants to thank him, but Tadamasa gives her heartbreaking news. Suhaku doesn't want to see her. Sei is trying to translate the foreign book Suhaku gave her, but it doesn't seem to be working. Nothing has gone right for her ever since the day Tadamasa told her Suhaku doesn't want to see her. It has been a week since then, and truly, she has not seen Suhaku even once. She keeps worrying, wondering why he doesn't want to see her and if she made him angry. She has been so sad. Even her dog notices her mood and sticks to her side, worried about her. She feels sad for the animal. Even when they are together, she keeps making him worried about her. To cheer both of them up, she decides to go for a walk and meets the most beautiful woman ever. Sei is surprised when a beautiful woman in a military uniform suddenly stops her and wants to speak to her. She introduces herself as Senri Baba, one of Suhaku's close friends. She is the person in charge of communications between the military and the Kamashiro family. She has already seen Suhaku, and when she heard he was engaged, she came to see what type of person Sei is. To make a human hater like Suhaku pick her as his fiancé. Sei is very nervous in front of this beautiful woman. She introduces herself and wants to know if Senri is also a beast woman. The soldier reveals she is. She is the horse type. Suhaku was a good soldier, but he could never beat her in speed. Sei is surprised because she never knew Suhaku was a soldier. Senri tells her Suhaku was a military doctor before he came back to become the head of the Kamashiro family. She finds it suspicious that Sei doesn't know anything about Suhaku, even as his fiancé. She tells Sei it must be because beastmen and humans are from different worlds. We don't know if she is trying to cause problems between the couple, but Tadamasa stops her before she can continue. He tells her to stop being so inconsiderate of Sei's feelings, but the damage has already been done. Now Sei is feeling sad again. Just like Senri said, she knows nothing about Suhaku's past and doesn't even know why he wouldn't see her. It looks like her title of fiancé is just empty. Just then, they notice the man himself staring at them from above. But immediately he sees Sei looking at him, turns and walks away. Lady Senri leaves, but she has already caused damage in their relationship. Now, Sei really believes humans and beastmen live in different worlds. She thinks the reason why Suhaku won't open up to her or tell her anything is that she is human. That is totally not true. Suhaku is not avoiding Sae because she is human, but because every time he is near her, he gets an uncontrollable urge to have her. He doesn't understand why this is happening. He was a military doctor and had seen human blood countless times, but he didn't know why Sae's blood affected him this way. He seems to remember something, a time when he was still a military doctor. Then Sae was kneeling in the middle of a burning place and crying. We don't know what is happening, but we do know the last thing Suhaku would want in this world is to hurt her. Tadamasa is concerned when he comes looking for his lord and sees him in pain. Suhaku tells him he is fine, and Tadamasa says Senri has left. He says he misses the days when the three of them used to hang out, but it seems something has happened between them. More importantly, Senri brought news about the military investigating the Fujigamine family, but it seems something shady is going on. It seems like Suhaku is involved in the accident that killed Sae's parents 10 years ago. Tadamasa asks his lord to tell her before it gets too late. Sae is having a bad dream, a very, very terrible dream. In the dream, Lord Suhaku is cheating on her with that pretty soldier, Senri. Her ex-husband appears and tells her Suhaku would prefer any woman over her. But even in her dreams, Sae knows it isn't possible. She knows Suhaku isn't that type of man. So when she wakes up, she decides to go looking for him. She wants to see him and is tired of his avoiding her. Whether he wants it or not, she is going to talk to him today and find out what is happening. She goes to his medicine room, but when she sees him, he is sleeping peacefully. She loses all her courage when she sees how tired he looks. She doesn't plan to disturb him and just wants to remove the leaf on his shoulder when the man wakes up. He doesn't expect to see her here and tries to drag her out, but it is too late. His eyes turn red as his beast takes over. Sae is still talking when Lord Suhaku suddenly grabs her. Oh no, guys, he is about to eat her, about to bite her. He is kissing her. Guys, he is kissing her. Our male lead can't control himself anymore. Sae's scent is so sweet that he can't think straight anymore and starts licking the wound on her neck. But that was a horrible mistake. It triggers the beast side that needs her blood, and he suddenly turns into his beast form. He wants to eat her. Sae is terrified and closes her eyes just as he leans down to bite her neck. Our girl is waiting for the pain, but nothing happens. She is still alive. When she opens her eyes, she sees that Suhaku bit his own hand instead of hurting her. He immediately moves away from her and does his wolf call, summoning Tadamasa to the place. He orders his aide to take Sae away while he kneels down in pain. Outside, Sae is still confused. Tadamasa finally explains what is happening to her. Lord Suhaku is in his rut season. Normally, the rutting season for wolves is still far away. Even when it comes, Suhaku has always been able to manage it. But because he saw Sae's blood back at that party, his rutting season started early, and now he is in deep pain. Sae feels guilty because she thinks this is all her fault. He has been suffering because of her. She knew he didn't want to see her, but because of her selfishness, she went to meet him forcefully, causing him so much pain. Seeing her crying so badly, Tadamasa tells her the truth. Suhaku could have followed his beastly instincts and attacked her, yet he called for Tadamasa. The reason is simple. He doesn't want to hurt Sae. The reason he would rather bite his own arm is that Sae is just that precious to him. She is the person Suhaku wants to spend the rest of his life with. Those words stun Sae because she never knew Lord Suhaku felt that way about her. But now that she knows, she must do something about it. Lord Suhaku is still recovering from the previous pain. He feels bad for scaring Sae, and for the first time, he isn't happy to be a beast. This heat and pain in his body will always remind him he isn't human. They make him want Sae so much. Someone knocks on his door, startling him. The woman he wants so much, our female lead, is standing right outside his door. Lord Suhaku isn't expecting anyone and wonders who might be visiting so late. He thinks it is his assistant, but it turns out to be his fiancée. They just had an unpleasant afternoon, so he is surprised she still wants to see him, but he refuses to let her in. He knows his assistant must have told her about his condition. He might be in a rut, but he doesn't want her to sleep with him out of obligation. If he sees her right now, he will ruin her like a beast. So he tells her to leave. The man thinks that is enough to scare her away. He refuses to see her because he knows she is afraid of intimacy. Her trash ex-husband had only thought about getting her pregnant and had been too rough on her. Suhaku doesn't want to add to her trauma. This is the right thing to do. But Sae doesn't think so. Lord Suhaku is the only person who has ever confessed his feelings to her truthfully. He had once asked her to trust him, and now she tells him she does from the bottom of her heart. She apologizes to him and pushes open the door. She doesn't stop there. She takes the initiative and kisses him. Lord Suhaku's heart is beating so fast. He blushes and holds her tightly. The girl in his arms tells him not to hold back. Just knowing that he wants her makes her very happy. The couple has moved to the bed, but their intimate time is ruined when Suhaku touches her hand. Sae realizes she forgot her gloves. She is self-conscious because of her burn scars. She feels bad about it until the man kisses the spot. He doesn't want her to hide and says he wants all of her. Sae has to admit, Lord Suhaku is completely different from her ex-husband. He wants her so passionately, reminding her he is a beast man, but she doesn't mind getting ruined by him. The couple woke up the next morning after an interesting night. Lord Suhaku is worried he might have hurt her, but Sae assures him she is fine. She is more worried about him and his rut. He tells her it has disappeared since she accepted him. The girl grows shy again, covering her face and blushing, which makes the man smile. He apologizes for making her worry and explains why he stayed away. The sight of her might make him change into his beast form, and he was afraid she would dislike him. He promises to tell her everything from now on. After all, they will soon get married. Sae is happy to hear this and smiles. Suhaku wants to know more about the burn scars on her hand, so she tells him her story. 10 years ago, the hotel she was staying in with her parents caught fire. She made it out but tried to go back inside to save her parents. In her hurry, she touched the burning building with her bare hands. To our surprise, the man seems to know her and says she is really the girl from back then. He gently holds her hands, feeling bad for her. Seeing his sad face, Sei remembers the past. That night, someone had taken care of her injured hands. A doctor from the military had come to save the people who had been caught in the fire. She had been in shock back then, but she always remembered how hard the man had tried to help her. She had always wondered why. All Sei wants is to forget that sad day. But when Lord Suhaku holds her hands so gently and looks right at her, all her forgotten memories come rushing back. Sei starts crying. It turns out Lord Suhaku was that doctor. He was the one who saved her. That was why when they first met, Suhaku thought her scent was familiar. The couple hug each other happily. Things are changing for our female lead. She has not only grown closer to her fiancé, Lord Suhaku, but his people are also beginning to accept her. It might be a small change, but Sei really cherishes these moments, just like now. She is finally done translating Lord Suhaku's foreign book and brings it over to him to read. He happily accepts it, and the two spend some sweet time together. Meanwhile, Sei's wicked uncle is having a meltdown. He has just lost another client, and he blames it all on Kaneko, the man who tried to kill Sei. But he won't let these things bother him. As long as Sei marries Lord Suhaku, everything will be fine. Unfortunately, his daughter Chio hears this and isn't happy. In her twisted mind, her father has abandoned her and chosen Sei. Since they don't care about her anymore, she is going to destroy Sei's marriage. Sei's ex-husband, Shuichi, is being a nuisance. He scolds his new wife, yelling at her to get out of bed and help with the work. The lady is pregnant and reminds him that the doctor asked her to stay in bed. He thinks she is challenging him and yells at her, scaring their little daughter. Shuichi walks away, muttering about how lazy pregnant women are. A servant stops him and announces he has a female visitor. Shuichi doesn't ask who she is. He wants to know if she is pretty. When the servant says she is beautiful, he immediately smiles like a pervert. He decides to see her immediately. Shuichi is very eager to see his beautiful visitor, greeting her happily and welcoming her to his shop. But when he sees the woman's face, he loses his smile. His visitor is none other than his ex-wife's cousin, Chio. The woman greets him and he responds. He reminds her he has divorced her cousin Sei, but she says she already knows. She is, after all, Sei's younger sister. She apologizes for visiting so suddenly, feigning sadness. She announces she is here on Sei's behalf. Shuichi is actually curious to know more about his ex-wife. He has heard rumors about her new marriage. All he remembers about her is how gloomy and slow she was. She loved her dirty dog so much. But what he really liked was how terrified she was of him. He imagines her scared face and immediately starts smiling like an old pervert. He rushes to invite Chio inside, making the girl smile like a disgusting snake. Our heroine has no idea that two people are now scheming against her. She is spending the day with Lord Suhaku, and he praises her translation. She is really happy to hear this and asks him more about the book. She noticed it was all about making medicine. Suhaku reveals he is making a drug that will suppress the beastman's desire to drink blood and to rot. Sei is surprised to hear this, but he tells her that other countries have already started making these drugs. They are called suppressants. If the beastmen want to live peacefully among the humans, they absolutely need these drugs. Now, Sei understands why he bought the foreign book. In her mind, all she can think about is how amazing her fiancé is. He is working so hard to create a society where the beastmen wouldn't be discriminated against. He is too hardworking, so she decides to do her best to support him. A sweet moment suddenly occurs. The two are picking herbs when suddenly their hands touch. Sei looks away as her heart begins to beat faster. Lord Suhaku is sorry and wants to apologize. But when he looks at his fiancé, the poor girl has turned completely red. She stammers, trying to apologize, but her shy behavior suddenly makes Suhaku's heart race faster. Now they both look like ripe tomatoes. Our male lead wonders what is wrong with him. His rut season should have ended, so why is he feeling this way? Just the touch of her hand reminds him of the passionate, steamy night they spent together. Our main leads aren't the only ones falling in love. Riri, Sei's personal maid, receives a letter written in a foreign language. She is confused until the cute dog woman says the letter might be for her. Now Riri turns into a gossip, wanting to know who sent it. They are interrupted when Lord Tadamasa arrives to collect Suhaku's mail. The women panic and rush to gather the mail. As Tadamasa waits, he sees a strange letter and picks it up only to discover it is from Chio Fujigamine. What is the girl planning now? Sei is meeting with Suhaku and Tadamasa. She has read the letter and tells Suhaku that her cousin wants to meet her. Chio says she wants to apologize for everything she has done. Lord Suhaku is speechless while Tadamasa doesn't believe it. He asks about her relationship with Chio, and Sai tells him her cousin finds her irritating. She remembers all the mean words Chio has always said to her, but a part of her still remembers how good their relationship was when they were younger. Lord Suhaku has never forgiven Chio. He still remembers how she accused Sai at the banquet, but he knows Sai still loves her cousin. So when she asks for permission to meet Chio, he agrees but tells her she won't be going alone. Tadamasa can't understand his new mistress. She is really a softie. If it were him, he would have cut off such a cousin completely. He thinks she is the same as Lord Suhaku. Although the Lord dislikes humans, he would never ignore a sick or injured human. The two are really the ultimate married couple. Sei is shy again and reminds Tadamasa she hasn't married Suhaku. The man thinks it is only a matter of time. The two already tell each other everything. Even most couples don't do that. He wishes her well, hoping she settles things with her cousin. Sei is happy and blushes. She thanks him. happy to have someone who always encourages her. Her happiness makes the man smile too, and everything just seems sweet, but it doesn't last long. They arrive at the meeting place and Tadamasa offers to wait outside. Sei goes in to meet the snake. Sorry to meet Chio. That smile makes me so annoyed. The girl starts acting, crying and trembling as she apologizes for insulting Sei at the engagement party. She says she never meant those harsh words, and even claims her parents forced her to say them. She says her father would hit her anytime she tried to be nice to Sei, making her afraid. She reminds Sei of how close they were when they were younger. Our heroine actually believes her. She remembers Chio calling her barren and useless and actually believes the girl was forced to say those words. Chio reminds her again of how close they were when they were younger. She tells Sei she wants to have a fresh start with her. Something feels off. Sei should be happy that her cousin finally likes her, but everything seems strange. Chio notices her reluctance and starts crying, acting as if Sei has betrayed her. Sei rushes to comfort her. She tells the girl to give her some time to think. Chio grabs her hand, happy to have an opportunity to meet her again. When Sei doesn't answer, she suddenly hugs the girl, begging her not to abandon her. She reminds her that they are sisters and have no one else. Sei is finally touched and agrees to meet Chio again. What she doesn't see is the evil smile on her cousin's face. Outside, Lord Tadamasa has been listening to their conversation. It doesn't seem like Chio plans to harm Sei, but for some reason, he feels uneasy. At home, Lord Suhaku is also worried, so Riri brings him some tea. She knows Sei will meet with her sister today and wonders whether they have reconciled. Well, Lord Suhaku is stressed out, wondering the same thing. Lord Suhaku notices something strange. Sei has arrived home, but she still looks sad. He asks her about it, worried Chio might have done something to her. Sei says nothing happened and tells him Chio even apologized properly, but too many unpleasant things have happened between them, making her wonder if she should forgive her. She tells him Chio still wants to meet with her and asks for his permission. The man has no problem with her seeing her cousin, but insists she go with someone. He still doesn't trust Chio. Enough about that crazy girl. Sei has noticed something lately. Lord Suhaku has been spending more time with her. Sometimes he will even remain in his beast form, just like now. She has heard that beastmen don't show their beast form to humans. This can only mean one thing. Lord Suhaku must trust her now. The wind blows, making Sei shiver. She is actually cold, but she will bear it just to stay with her man. What she doesn't expect is for Lord Suhaku to notice and suddenly hug her. It turns out the man can't feel the cold since he is in his beast form. He apologizes but notices her staring at him. He starts to panic as he realizes he touched her while in his beast form. Sei suddenly holds him and even moves closer. She tells him his beast form is very warm and fluffy. Now our male lead is blushing like a teenage girl. He thought she would dislike his beast form, but Sei isn't concerned about that. It doesn't matter what he looks like. He will always be her fiancé. The man starts blushing again. He pulls her close and even wants to kiss her. Well, that will be hard considering he still looks like a wolf. Thankfully, Maru arrives and starts barking wildly. He is probably afraid this wolf is about to eat his mistress up. Sei is worried because the dog keeps growling at Suhaku while acting sweet with her. Meanwhile, our male lead is feeling wronged. Turns out he can understand what Maru is saying. The dog absolutely hates him and is warning him to stay away from Sei. He reminds the dog he is the one who saved it, and the arrogant Maru finally allows him to pat his head. Sei scolds the naughty dog and tells him to be grateful to Lord Suhaku. The two play around while Lord Suhaku watches them happily. What a perfect family. Days have passed, and Sei is finally meeting her cousin again. Chio is eager to see Sei, but not for anything good. She mocks her cousin for being an idiot. All it took was a few fake tears to get Sei to forgive her. Sei arrives and Chio switches to her sweet self, complaining about being late. Her fake smile fades really fast when she notices Sei didn't come alone. She is here with Tadamasa. Sei says Lord Tadamasa will be driving them around today. To Chio's twisted mind, it sounds like Sei is bragging. She must want to show off her new car and how much better it is. She pretends to be calm, but she is angry that Sei brought an assistant. She finds it disgusting to be escorted by a beastman. Chio is about to enter the car when Tadamasa suddenly moves closer and asks what evil thing she is planning. The girl is shocked for a moment, then smiles. She pretends not to understand what he is saying and rushes into the car. She wants them to visit a popular sweet shop. She knows Sei doesn't trust her yet, but she isn't concerned. Her plan has only just begun. It is a new day. Lord Suhaku is taking a look out the window when he notices 3 women standing downstairs. Sei seems to be going out with Chio again. Tadamasa notices them as well and tells Suhaku he doesn't like Sei's cousin. Suhaku scolds him, telling him to speak carefully. He says Lady Senri will be arriving soon for their weekly report. Tadamasa has heard some rumors about Fujigamina's company. Their business seems to be collapsing, and he is worried it might affect the Kamishiro family. On Chio's side, it is complete chaos. She pulls Sei along, dragging her to different stores to shop. Behind them, poor Riri is about to cry as she chases after them. Our female lead is happy. Ever since Chio apologized, their relationship has gotten better. Now they even go into town together. It is almost like everything that happened before was a dream. Chio asks Sei if she is tired, worried she might be bothering her by inviting her out all the time. Sei assures her she is happy, making Chio smile even brighter. Meanwhile, poor Riri is struggling to carry all their boxes. She thinks her mistress is buying way too many things. Chio arrives to add to her misery, scolding her for being careless. Riri carefully drops the boxes in the car, only to hear Chio calling her slow. In fact, the lady says she hates beastmen. Now Riri is confused, wondering if she has developed some hearing issues. She is convinced she must have imagined those words. It is already evening and Riri has fallen asleep on Sei's shoulder. Our female lead thinks she is cute. She must have been too tired from shopping all day. Chio apologizes for being overexcited and laughs. But we all know she is laughing because her opportunity has finally come, just as we thought. When Sei looks outside, she notices the carriage is going in a completely different direction from their home. Chio finds it a pity that Sei noticed. She says she wanted to surprise her cousin and tells Sei she wants to visit one more place. Our heroine is panicking because this street is familiar. She recognizes this road because it leads to her ex-husband's house. They arrive at her ex-husband's shop and Chio pulls her out. Our female lead doesn't run away. She stands there asking why they are here. Chio lies, saying she wanted to buy a new dress for Sei to celebrate her engagement. Since Shuichi knows Sei very well, she decided to visit his shop. She says the man insisted on seeing Sei personally and wants to congratulate her on her marriage. Being the lovely sister, she decided to set up a meeting for them. Chio cannot believe what she is hearing. There is no way her evil ex-husband would want to congratulate her. She stands there in shock until the man himself arrives. He immediately hugs her, pleased to see her. He has been waiting for them and immediately invites her inside. Sei seems to have become mute. She just stands there trembling and allows the man to take her into the shop. At the last moment, she looks back at her cousin, desperate for help. Wrong choice. Chio just stands there and waves. She even says they have a lot to talk about and encourages the two to spend more time alone. Now, what is going to happen to our heroine? Lord Shuichi is pleased with himself. He tells Sei not to worry because no one is here. He made sure to close his shop today, as he believes she must be afraid of people seeing them. He seems to think something might happen between them. Meanwhile, our girl is just confused, wondering why he would think she came to see him. The man probably thinks he is being sexy as he likes his lips. In reality, he just looks disgusting. He reminds Sei of their good physical chemistry and even suggests they have fun one more time. Shuichi has pushed the girl to the floor, trying to harass her. He tells her not to be embarrassed. They haven't seen each other for so long, and he is desperate to hear her moans again. He recalls the many nights they slept together when they were married, and it excites him. She might not have gotten pregnant, but those nights were always enjoyable. Our female lead keeps struggling. She doesn't want to remember those nights. Those days might have been fun for him, but they were torture to her. She starts panicking while the man keeps saying lewd words. He even asks if she has slept with her new fiancé. He is sure she hasn't. Suhaku might be a noble, but he is still a dirty beastman. He thinks Sei doesn't want to marry Suhaku, which is why she came to see him. Sei finally gets angry. All Shuichi does is twist the truth to fit his narrative. He did it before and is doing it now. He acts like he wasn't the same man who beat her many times. Shuichi doesn't want to talk about her beastman fiancé anymore. He tries to touch her, but Sei slaps his hands away. She warns him to stay away from her. She has no problems marrying Lord Suhaku. He even makes her happy. Instead, it is Shuichi's touch that disgusts her. The man is furious and starts shaking her. He thinks she is playing around with him. After all, she was the one who requested to see him. Sei is confused because she never made that request. Because she can't explain, the man becomes violent. Just like he did in the past, he tries to hit her, but our Sei has changed. This time, she fights back. She suddenly grabs a weapon and throws it at his face. While the man is still in shock, she runs out of the shop. Chio sees her cousin coming out so quickly and is disappointed. But it doesn't really matter because her plan has already worked. She allows the carriage to leave, but in a corner where no one can see, two women are watching them. They have witnessed the whole incident. Lord Suhaku has been waiting for his fiancée to arrive home. He rushes to meet her, but immediately notices something is wrong. Even Riri looks worried. When he tries to touch her, Sei moves away. He grows suspicious and asks whether anything happened while she was out. Sei begins to panic. Is she going to tell him the truth? Lord Suhaku is suspicious. He is sure something went wrong. Sei remembers everything that happened and how her ex-husband tried to harass her. It makes her even more nervous. Her behavior is too suspicious, and Lord Suhaku can tell something is wrong. He believes Chio must have done something to her again. Sei disappoints everyone when she decides to hide what happened from Suhaku. She lies to him, saying they just visited too many places. Lord Suhaku asks again because she looks too pale, yet Sei keeps lying. She claims she is just tired from riding around in the carriage. After hearing that the maids will bring her food up to her, she thanks Suhaku and wishes him goodnight. She is clearly chasing him away. Although she smiles at him, it looks very fake. And the man notices it. He is clearly unhappy as he leaves. Once he is gone, Riri starts questioning Sei. She also suspects that something has happened. She tells Sei she can confide in her. However, Sei refuses to. She can't forget what happened. After she escaped from Shuichi, she questioned Chio about what happened. The man seemed to believe she came to see him, but Chio denied ever saying that. She claimed the man tricked her and started crying, blaming herself. Still, she didn't forget to ask Sei if anything happened between her and Shuichi. That was when Riri woke up. The maid knew nothing about what happened and just apologized for falling asleep. Sei refused to say anything after that. She doesn't want anyone to know what happened, but it is too late. Days have passed, but the city is already full of rumors. When Lord Suhaku goes to a Beastman meeting, they ask him about his engagement to Sei. Our male lead is ignorant and tells them he is planning for his wedding. The other Beastmen remind him of the rumors about Fujigamini's company, but Suhaku doesn't care. He even plans to take responsibility for them. The other men don't support him and even advise him to call off his engagement. One man even tries to warn him about his fiancée, but the rest stop him. Now Suhaku is worried, wondering if something has happened to Sei. The other men see how ignorant he looks and decide to tell him about the rumors spreading around town. The nasty rumors have reached the Kamashiro's estate. A group of maids surround a confused Riri and ask her if the rumors are true. Everyone is saying Lady Sei had an affair with her ex-husband. Riri defends her mistress, but the other maids tell her there are witnesses. People saw Sei entering and leaving her ex-husband's home. The rumors have spread all over the city. Meanwhile, Chio is having the time of her life. She is at the Fujigomin home listening to some music. She has never been happier. She doesn't regret paying those servants to spread the rumors. She imagines how angry her father would be when he hears the rumors. This is enough to destroy the marriage between Sai and Suhaku. The girl smiles because she can't wait for her cousin to be thrown out again. Just the thought of it makes her laugh happily. The maids at the Kamishiro house are busy cleaning. They all notice their new mistress hasn't left her room all day. Riri is worried, but the rest of the maids gossip. They believe Sei must be feeling guilty. She must have really slept with her ex-husband, which is why she is feeling ashamed. Riri is so angry she starts yelling at them. She tells them Sei isn't that kind of person and blames them for avoiding her just because she is human. She tells them how special Sei is. Her beast form is a squirrel, which makes the humans and even beastmen look down on her. Only Sei has been kind to her. The other maids finally look guilty. Riri promises them the rumor isn't true and plans to enter the town to investigate. The dog woman stops her and tells her to calm down. Lord Suhaku and Sei have to settle these issues themselves. She advises Riri to wait until Lord Suhaku returns from his business trip tomorrow. Then Riri will know if Sei is worthy of her trust. Our heroine is still hiding in her room. Everything has been ruined, and she somehow believes it is her fault. She blames herself for not refusing her ex-husband properly. She lied to Lord Suhaku, saying nothing had happened. Yet she has been hiding in her room since then. She thinks she is a horrible person. She starts to cry until she hears Maru bark. It turns out Lord Suhaku is back. Sei is surprised to see him since he was supposed to return tomorrow morning. Suhaku says he came back early to talk to her. Sei realizes he already knows. She finally tells him the truth and says she really spent time alone with her ex-husband. She apologizes for lying to him that day, saying nothing had happened. But the man isn't bothered by that. He holds her hand and tells her he trusts her. He wants her to tell him everything that happened that day. Sei finally says the truth. When she tells Suhaku how her ex-husband tried to push her down and harass her, the man is furious. She assures him that nothing happened because she managed to escape. Lord Suhaku still looks angry, and Sei thinks it is her fault. He stops her from apologizing and reveals he isn't angry at her. He is more annoyed with her ex-husband, who tried to touch her without her permission. His anger turns to guilt when he remembers how he tried to touch her once in the medicine room. He apologizes, but Sei doesn't mind and even hugs him. She blushes as she reveals she didn't dislike his touch. Her relationship with him is completely different from her ex-husband's. She remembers that nasty man and gets scared again. She moves away, but Lord Suhaku suddenly pulls her close. He tells her he wants to spend the night with her. Sei is waiting for Lord Suhaku, and he finally arrives. Just like he asked, they are really going to spend the night together. The girl is already blushing, but it becomes worse when Lord Suhaku asks to kiss her. Her heart is beating so fast. I never thought it was possible, but her cheeks become even redder as she tells him he doesn't need to ask. He should just kiss her. He starts kissing her, but Sei can tell it is different. During his rut, he was very impatient, but now he is kissing her so gently. The two lie in bed, but the man doesn't plan to do anything to her tonight. He just wants her to sleep peacefully. He is still upset that her ex-husband tried to force himself on her. Sei assures him nothing happened between them, but Suhaku is still unhappy. He keeps imagining what would have happened if he met her before her ex-husband. He wished he had met her before the fire. Then he would have been able to save her and her parents. Sei tells him not to blame himself. She is happy just to know he thinks that way. Lord Suhaku feels strange. He can't control his feelings around Sei. He wants to touch her even when he isn't in rut, make her comfortable, and treat her like a treasure. Sei has fallen asleep, but Lord Suhaku is still bothered. Something is suspicious. Sei might have gone to see her ex-husband, but the rumors are spreading too fast. It seems like someone planned this, and there is only one suspect. We see Shuichi panicking the next morning. He has just heard the rumors about him and Sei, and wonders who could have seen them. If his wife hears these rumors, it is going to be terrible. He believes it isn't his fault because Sei came to him first. Yet she kept saying weird things. He is insulting her when a maid announces he has a visitor. Shuichi goes to see who it is and sees a strange man standing at the door. He wonders who he is, but we all know it is our male lead. Shuichi has no idea who his new visitor is, but the man's expression is truly frightening. When the man finally speaks, he accuses him of harassing his fiancée. Shuichi is sure this is Sei's fiancée. He is annoyed and disgusted to see the beastman posing as a human. He really thinks humans are superior to the beastmen. He immediately denies touching Sei, even claiming he wouldn't want a woman he has already divorced. He calls her boring and says Suhaku can have her for himself. Well, he has successfully pissed off our male lead. Suhaku turns into his beast form and questions the man, accusing him of bringing Sei to his store secretly. Meanwhile, the scumbag is so terrified he falls over. He thinks Suhaku is going to eat him. He calms down once he remembers it is a crime for beastmen to harm humans. Suhaku might be from a noble family, but he can't touch him. Suhaku has no idea what Shuichi is thinking. He just wants to know the truth. He thinks the man used Sei's cousin to trick her into coming over. Shuichi denies it and says it was Chio who came to him and said his ex-wife wanted to see him. Suhaku asks, but even Shuichi doesn't know who is spreading these rumors. He reminds Sohaku that they are also destroying his reputation. Well, he doesn't look like he is lying. Sohaku has confirmed his suspicions. Chiyo must have planned everything. He has no use for Shuichi anymore and turns to leave. But it seems the scumbag is tired of living. He thinks our male lead is leaving because he is afraid and starts mocking him. He tells Sohaku to give up on Sei if he wants children. He has remarried and is already expecting his second child, but no matter how many times he slept with Sei, she never got pregnant. Well, Shuichi finally receives the reaction he is looking for. Sohaku punches the wall beside the man's head and it immediately crumbles. He tells the man to shut his dirty mouth if he doesn't want to end up dead. The scumbag takes one look at Sohaku's frightening face and trembles. He is expecting a beating, but Sohaku has planned something worse. The next moment, a servant rushes in with bad news. Many of their customers have refused to do business with them. Shuichi is shocked to hear this until the servant tells him they all have ties with the Kamishiro family. In fact, all his best customers are gone. His business will soon be bankrupt. On the other side of town, Lord Jiru is practically foaming at the mouth. He is so angry. His wife tells him to calm down, but he just can't. He has heard the rumors about Sei having an affair with her ex-husband. He thinks Sei has ruined her chance with Lord Sohaku. His wife tries to comfort him, suggesting it might just be rumors. The man isn't satisfied and insists on hearing the truth from Sei. He orders his servants to drag her back home. Chiyo has been listening to them secretly and is glad her plan worked. Sei is preparing herself for battle. Well, not an actual battle. The rumor about her affair with Shuichi is still being spread all over town. Lord Sohaku told her of his suspicions that someone was setting them up. They can't stop the rumors from spreading, but he promised to solve the problem and asked her to wait. Sei decides to trust him. She can't do anything about the rumors. The only thing she can do is believe Sohaku and wait. But today, her main goal is to gather the servants in the manor and explain things to them herself. Sei gathers the servants, but she can hear them gossiping about her. They stare at her with anger as they wonder what she's going to say. They believe she has betrayed Lord Sohaku. In fact, she must secretly dislike the Beast tribe, but Sei doesn't let it bother her. She bows to them and sincerely apologizes for the trouble she has caused. She tells them she will explain what really happened between her and Shuichi, which makes the maids nervous. Sei starts her story by announcing she never went to her ex-husband's shop willingly. She didn't go there to have an affair with him. She met him outside his shop by mistake, and then he forced her inside. Because she was too scared, she didn't resist him at the beginning. At the end, she managed to escape. She promises the maids that nothing happened between her and Shuichi. She even reveals her biggest secret to them. Her ex-husband divorced her because she couldn't get pregnant. The maids are all shocked to hear this. Sei tells them she was never loved during her marriage. Her ex-husband thought she was worthless and always treated her like an object. The maids are all silent. Sei doesn't know if they believe her, but she wants to tell them the truth. After spending time with Sohaku, she has realized how important it is to believe in your friends and talk about even the hardest secrets. She refused to tell the truth last time, which caused this mess. But nothing will change if she keeps hiding, so she decides to face it. She tells the maids that Lord Sohaku gave her a home. She would never betray him or any of them. Riri is touched and hugs her. She tells Sai not to worry because she believes her. The maid even blames herself for falling asleep that day. If she hadn't, her mistress wouldn't have been put in danger. She believes it is all her fault that this nasty rumor has spread, and she begins to cry. Sei comforts the girl, telling her it wasn't her fault. The other maids finally speak. The dog woman can tell how hard it was for Sei and thanks her for explaining things to them. She thought Sei wouldn't bother speaking to them since they are just servants. The other maids agree with her, and they all tell Sei they believe her. Our female lead is so touched, she begins to cry. She keeps bowing to them, thanking them for trusting her. None of them notices the man hiding in a corner watching them. Tadamasa catches his lord hiding like a thief and tells him not to worry anymore. Turns out, Lord Sohaku has always been bothered about Sei's relationship with the female servants. Tadamasa doesn't understand his master. If he was so worried about her, why didn't he go out to support her instead of hiding somewhere and eavesdropping? Lord Sohaku says Sei had to face this alone. He announces he is leaving and tells Tadamasa to prepare the car. Sei is walking with Riri. The maid is proud of her, happy that they were able to talk things out. Sei says it was only because Riri was there and thanks her. Their day is going so well until they notice a carriage stops in front of their house. It is from the Fujigamine family. Chiyo steps out looking worried. She immediately clings to Sei, crying and begging her to return home quickly. She has no idea the male lead is behind her. She is busy describing how angry Lord Jiru was after he found out about the rumors of her affair with her ex-husband. Sei is confused because she has already sent a letter to her uncle explaining what happened. Chiyo says her father didn't accept the explanation. He is so angry he isn't listening to anyone. She begs Sei to follow her back to the Fujigamine's house and explain things to her father. She is already smiling happily, thinking her plan has worked, until Lord Sohaku appears. For some reason, even though Sei's cousin seems to have changed and has even started caring about Sei, Lord Sohaku just can't trust her. Chiyo clings to Sei, begging her to return home immediately. She claims her father has heard the rumors of her affair with her ex-husband and ordered her to bring Sei home. Sei is confused because she has already explained everything in a letter to her uncle. Chiyo tells her Jiru still isn't satisfied with her explanation. He is too angry and refuses to listen to anyone, making her scared. She begs Sei to return home with her. Sei is already panicking. She remembers all the torture her uncle put her through. He has never once listened to her explanation. If she goes back home, he won't just scold her. He would probably beat her up too. She doesn't know what to do, but thankfully Lord Sohaku arrives. Chiyo greets the man but sees how angry he looks. She is smug, thinking he is angry with Sai for causing him trouble. Her plan is going perfectly well. She had hardly finished that thought when Lord Sohaku said Sae won't be returning to the Fujigamin's manor. Chio immediately loses her smile. Her evil attitude begins to show as she angrily asks him what he means by that. In her mind, she thinks he has to be joking. Why is he stopping her? Well, Lord Sohaku believes someone set this entire rumor up, and he tells her so. Of course, he suspects it is Chio, and he tells the girl that whoever planned this must be close to Sae. Chio's heart might just fail at this point. Lord Sohaku keeps talking, pointing out how quickly the rumors are spreading. He tells her they are currently investigating the source of the rumors. Once they learn the truth, he will go with Sae to Fujigamin's manor to explain it to her father. At this point, Chio deserves an Oscar. The girl doesn't even panic. She just acts shocked, asking why someone would set Sae up like this. She even says she will pray for them to find the culprit, more like curse them. Since Sae won't be returning home with her, she runs away. Sae watches her cousin leave. She wants to know whom Lord Sohaku currently suspects. Although he has no proof yet, Lord Sohaku believes Chio must be the one who set her up. Once again, Sae is betrayed by her cousin, and she feels sad. Meanwhile, Chio is having a meltdown inside her carriage. She can't believe it. She planned the rumors carefully, thinking it would cause problems between Sae and Lord Sohaku, yet the man is still supporting her cousin. It only makes her hate Sae more, and she vows never to forgive her. What did our heroine do? Well, Chio just hates seeing her cousin protected and loved by someone. She vows to do everything she can to force her father to take Sae back home. Chio arrives home and immediately tells her father about Sohaku's suspicions. She keeps saying it is all an excuse and insists the affair must be real. That is why Sae has refused to come home. She accuses Sae of always causing trouble. She thinks her father will agree with her and proudly says Sae's engagement will be called off. They need to bring her back home quickly. Well, Chio is about to get a slap to her face. I mean, literally. Her father slaps her and warns her to shut up. The girl goes into shock while her mother yells at him for hitting her. Their shouts are nothing more than noise to Jiru's ears. He tells them to stop screeching and focus on finding the culprit who spread the rumors. He calls them idiots because they can't understand that this matter could actually ruin their family. He forbids Chio from leaving the house, then leaves himself. Her mother keeps trying to console her, but the girl walks away. She finally realizes she is in trouble. She never thought her father would want to investigate the rumors, too. She believes she won't be caught since she paid off those servants and even fired them. Even if Shuichi confesses, nobody would believe him because he harassed Sae first. Chio almost looks insane as she convinces herself nobody will find out the truth. Days have passed, but Sae is still thinking of what Lord Sohaku said about Chio being the mastermind. The maid's arrival stops her depressive thoughts. They all wonder what this sweet scent is. Turns out, our heroine has prepared a bunch of foreign sweets for the maids to taste. They are all surprised and wonder if they can actually eat this. Riri assures them they can, and they start eating. After the first taste, the only thing they can say is, delicious. They never knew foreign sweets were so sweet. Sae tells them she grew up overseas. Back then, she would bake with her mother. It is customary to eat cookies while chatting with friends, so she wanted to try it with the maids. The maids are conquered by her kindness, and they all gather around her asking for the recipe. She promises to teach them all, and everyone is happy. Sae is happy everyone liked the cookies, but the most important thing is if her man will like them. She has saved a box for him and heads over to deliver it. She hasn't even seen him yet, but her heart is already racing. Suddenly, someone taps her from behind. It is Lady Senri and Tadamasa. The two are on their way to meet Lord Sohaku, as today is the military check-in day. Sae gives them some of her cookies, which they appreciate. Lady Senri says she wants to apologize to Sae. When they first met, she had been very rude to Sae, and even told her that humans and beastmen don't belong in the same world. She tells Sae she wasn't being mean. She just didn't believe humans and beastmen could live together peacefully. But Lord Sohaku and Tadamasa have told her more about Sae, which has changed her mind. Sae also apologizes to Senri. She was never upset with her and told the female soldier not to worry about it. Now, Senri has also been conquered by Sae and calls her a good person, which makes our girl smile. Tadamasa smiles. He never thought someone like Senri would say something like that. Senri asks what he means, and he says he never knew she could also be cute and honest. Senri acts as if the word cute is a bomb and starts yelling. She is actually just trying to hide her racing heart. Sae watches the two tease each other until Tadamasa runs away. Senri seems to be scolding the man, but her blushing face betrays her. She thanks Sae for the cookies and leaves her behind to chase after Tadamasa. Sae watches them with a smile, wondering if Senri loves Lord Tadamasa. Now it is our girl's turn to blush, as she wonders if she also loves Lord Sohaku. Lord Sohaku has finally received some of Sae's special cookies. Sae delivers it to him, and he tells her Tadamasa and Senri have been bragging and showing off their cookies, mocking him for not having one. He admits he was actually jealous, thinking she wouldn't give him any. His confession makes Sae's heart race. Even just watching him eat the cookie makes her blush. Hearing him praise the cookies makes her understand her feelings. She actually loves this man. Once she realizes that, her heart just won't stop racing. She hugs him, but it still isn't enough. She just wants to get closer and closer to him. Girl, just crawl into his skin. All Sae desires is to get closer to Lord Sohaku. She hugs him tightly, but even that isn't enough. She just wants to be close to him. Meanwhile, Lord Sohaku is wondering what is happening to his fiancée. He calls her name, and only then does she regain her senses. Sae is ashamed and quickly moves away, apologizing for touching him suddenly. She doesn't understand why she suddenly wanted to touch him. She is so embarrassed that her face turns red. Well, There is no need for that because the man hugs her too. He doesn't want her to apologize and even tells her she can touch him anytime she likes. He doesn't mind it at all. Our girl has officially turned into a stammerer. Since she can't speak, she hugs him again and thanks him. Suhaku just thinks she is so adorable. The two hug each other for a long time. Suhaku wants to know how she feels after hearing that her younger sister might have been scheming against her. Sei tells him she has been thinking about it and has finally realized that Chio and Shuichi seem to be saying different things. Chio claimed Shuichi wanted to congratulate her on her wedding, but the man seemed to believe Sei came to see him. Her cousin kept saying the man had tricked her, but from the way Shuichi was acting, he really believed she had come there for him. Sei doesn't want to suspect her sister, but if it is true and Chio really planned everything, then she can only blame herself for being too naive. It is her fault that everything happened. She tells Suhaku she wants to know whether Chio planned this, to find out the truth, and to stop the rumors. She asks for his help, and he promises to assist her. He wants to know if she has noticed anything strange while she was out with her sister, and indeed she has. In another part of town, Lord Shuichi is under attack. His pregnant wife has found out about his affair with Sei and accuses him of cheating on her. He tries to defend himself and says it was Sei who seduced him first. Of course, she doesn't believe him. She pushes him away and reminds him of the different mistresses he has always had. She would be a fool to believe him. Shuichi is annoyed. He reminds his wife of her identity. She was once his mistress too, before he married her. He regrets marrying such a rude woman like her, and indeed wouldn't have if she hadn't become pregnant for him. He is still glaring when the woman suddenly asks what he would do if it weren't his child. Shuichi is confused, wondering what nonsense she is saying. They already have 2 children together. She changes her question and asks what he would do if he found out none of the children were his. Well, his wife has really been hiding a big secret. She was really desperate to marry him and knew how much he wanted a child. But no matter how many times they slept together, she could never get pregnant. The woman decided to be bold and sleep with another man to get pregnant. She vowed never to do it again. But Shuichi kept asking for a son, so she cheated on him again. This news is too much for the scumbag. He keeps stammering as he asks about the child in her stomach. His wife has had enough and yells at him. She says the kids are not his own. They belong to another man. It has always been his fault that they can't have children. Lord Suhaku tells Sei that Tadamasa is investigating the rumors. He assures her it is being handled and promises the result will be released soon. A letter has arrived, but it is written in a foreign language. Sei picks it up but is shocked when she sees to whom it is addressed. Finally, we learn the dog woman's name. She is called Misono, and it turns out the letter was sent to her. Sei hands it over to her while the gossipy Riri runs over. She reveals Misono has also received a foreign letter like this previously. They all want to know who sent it, and Misono confesses it was the handsome golden-haired foreigner she met at Sei's engagement party. She reveals she couldn't read the letters because she didn't understand the language. She guessed it wouldn't be something bad, and just found out how to write thank you in the man's language. She didn't expect him to send another letter. She had to sit with the dictionary, struggling to find simple words to reply to his letter. She has always wanted to know what he wrote and asks Sei to read the letters for her. Of course, Sei is willing. Misono gathers all the letters and hands them over to Sei. The first letter is just an apology for frightening her during the party, and he says the drinks she gave him were delicious. In the second letter, he says he is happy to receive her reply and thanks her for writing it in his language. Riri is freaking out as she realizes these are love letters. Misono keeps denying it, but her blushing face betrays her. She is eager to read today's letter, but Sei hands it to her. Today's letter is written in their language so she can read it. Misono is surprised. The man apologizes in his letter. He finally realized she couldn't read the previous letters because they were written in a foreign language. From now on, he will write in her country's language. He says he treasures her letters, but he wants something more. He wants to see her smile again. So sweet. The man wasn't joking when he said he wanted to see her. Lord Edward actually visits their manor. He apologizes for visiting suddenly, but he was just desperate to see his lover. He becomes shy as he confesses he has already learned her country's language just so he could speak with her. Misono is so happy. She smiles brightly and thanks him for coming to see her. Edward is charmed by her beautiful smile and begins to blush. She is just so cute. The two seem to have forgotten there are people around. The single Riri is hurt by the bitter taste of love, while our couple watches them happily. Suhaku is surprised by the man's visit. After hearing he is an investor in Fujigamina's manor, he tells Sei about his plan. He has been searching for a foreign partner to build a relationship with. Now that he has met Edward, he plans to speak to him and ask Sei for her help. Our heroine is really happy to see two people fall in love. Their relationship looks wonderful. She thinks it's lovely watching them become friends, even though they speak different languages. It makes her very happy. Not everyone is happy. The people around Shuichi's shop notice he hasn't opened for a long time. Another person reveals the family is fighting, and the wife even left with their child. Inside the shop, Shuichi is destroying everything he can touch. He is almost going crazy as the words his wife said repeat in his head. He tries to convince himself she is lying, wondering why this happened to him. Suddenly, the door opens and someone steps in. Chio is here, and she starts brainwashing him, trying to convince him that this is Sei's fault. She tells him that Sei set everything up just to get her revenge on him. Shuichi is convinced and curses Sei for being horrible. She has destroyed his life. Chio agrees with him and tells him that Sei also used her. She suggests they work together to destroy her. Chio's mother, Yoshie, is panicking. She has just found out Chio is missing. She has no idea her daughter is on another death-seeking mission and questions the maids. She orders them to find her quickly. Yoshie fears her husband will find out and wonders where her daughter could have gone. Misono is preparing a coat for Sei, who seems to be going on a walk. Our girl doesn't forget to ask Misono about her new relationship with Mr. Edward. Misono tells her the man plans to send her more letters. It seems like he won't be leaving their country anytime soon. Sei offers to help her with any language problems, and Misono thanks her. She is about to head outside when they notice a storm coming. We're all curious about where Sei is going, so let's go back to a few days ago. The men have found a hairpin, which Sei recognizes as Chio's. It was in the hands of one of the Fujigamine family's former maids. It is made of pure gold, and if sold, would fetch a lot of money. Sei had told Sohaku her suspicions about the maids. Tadamasa investigated and finally spoke to one of them, only to find out Sei was right. That day, she had seen the two maids hiding in a corner, watching them. She is heartbroken when her suspicions are proven right. Tadamasa tells her that Chio gave the maids some valuable items to sell off. In exchange, they had to spread the rumor about Sei's affair all around the town. Chio even made sure to fire them after, an act even Tadamasa thinks is disturbing. She really used and abandoned them. This time, Sei won't forgive her cousin. She blames herself for being foolish enough to forgive Chio and trusting her. She reveals that Chio sent her another letter asking them to meet. She has decided to go and plans to force Chio to confess to her crimes. She will make her explain everything to her uncle and aunt. Our heroine is still too naive. Lord Suhaku supports Sei's idea. They have to find a way to make Chio take responsibility for everything. He allows her to visit Chio for the last time, but this time he will go with her. Back to the present, Lord Suhaku and Tadamasa have arrived at the spot, but they are in beast form. Chio isn't here, but Sei has arrived with Riri following her. All around them, people are murmuring, all afraid to see the beastmen. They try not to show their fear, afraid they will be eaten. Riri and Sei are feeling bad, while the men are just annoyed. Well, Lord Suhaku is. Tadamasa is just happy and offers to chase them away, but Suhaku stops him. Sei approaches Suhaku, feeling bad for him, but he is already used to this. No matter what form they take, they will never fit in. It will be better for them to just remain like this today. They still haven't seen Chio. It is past their meeting time, and it doesn't seem like she will be showing up anytime soon. Suhaku tells Tadamasa to check the surroundings. On the quiet street, a car suddenly rushes by. The people around yell, wondering what is wrong with the driver. Lord Suhaku is in shock as he watches the car, because it is heading straight for Sei. He runs over, but it is too late for both of them to escape. There is a loud sound, and the next thing we see is Sei lying on the floor and Riri screaming beside her. But the maid isn't looking at her. She is looking ahead. When Sei looks up, she sees a large pool of blood and Lord Suhaku lying on the floor. He was hit by a car. Sei is still in shock when someone suddenly grabs her. When she turns to look, she sees a crazy Shuichi. He holds her and says he will never forgive her. Shuichi has gone crazy. He seems to be driving somewhere. Not only does he keep talking about never forgiving Sei, but he has also kidnapped the girl. Our heroine is tied up in the back seat. She wonders why Shuichi is doing this and concludes he is crazy. She remembers how he ran his car into them, injuring her fiancé. She wants to cry, but she knows it won't solve anything. She can't just sit here scared. She has to find a way to escape. The girl looks around only to notice the man is heading out of town. She has no idea where he is taking her. Shuichi arrives at an abandoned warehouse and steps out. He tries to pull Sei out, but she keeps struggling. He is very violent and just carries her out and throws her into the warehouse. The girl is in pain, but her heartbreak increases when she hears someone's laughter. She looks up to see Chio smiling at her. Chio is very happy. She admires the view and tells Sei such filthy places really suit her. Our girl is shocked. Shuichi goes out to get rid of the car, leaving the two sisters all alone. Sei has finally realized the truth. She asks Chio if she was the one who planned all this. She must have told Shuichi their location and set them up to be alone in his shop that day. She is the one who paid those maids to spread a fake rumor about her. Her cousin doesn't feel bad and even mocks Sei, calling her a clueless idiot. Lord Suhaku already suspects her, so she doesn't need to hide the truth anymore. Our heroine can't believe it. She had really thought her cousin wanted to start over and be as close as they were when they were kids. Those words make Chio laugh. She tells Sei she must really be a nice person. She has always loved Chio and treated her like a younger sister, but Chio never cared. She tells Sei she had forgotten all about their past. Sei is heartbroken, but seeing her in pain makes Chio very happy. She keeps laughing and finally confesses she has always been jealous of Sei. Even when they were kids, she hated seeing Sei so happy and having everything. Sei's heart is broken. Lord Shuichi returns and Chio leaves them alone. She encourages the man to do whatever he wants to say and happily tells the girl goodbye. Our heroine is left alone with the man who believes she ruined his life. He looks crazy as he approaches Sei. Our girl can't do anything and just closes her eyes, praying for her man to appear. Well, her man has fainted, and Lord Tadamasa is begging him to wake up. Suhaku finally opens his eyes and his assistant is happy. He wants to treat Suhaku first, but the man's focus is on Sei. When he hears that she has been kidnapped, he immediately tries to stand up. Tadamasa tries to stop him because he is seriously injured, but Suhaku refuses any medical care. Right now, he needs to find his Sei. He sends Tadamasa away to seek help from the military. As he walks around, he sees some familiar clothes on the floor. He remembers the dress. That was what Riri was wearing. It might be raining, but that won't stop our male lead from saving his woman. He is tracing Riri's scent when he finally sees the girl herself. Just like he suspected, she had changed into her squirrel form. She looks very cute, yet tired. Lord Suhaku notices and tells her to calm down and tell him where Sei was taken. Riri says Sei was forced into the car that hit him. When she noticed, she changed into her squirrel form and followed them. She reveals Sei is being held at an abandoned warehouse outside of town and begs Lord Suhaku to save her. Suhaku is touched. Riri is so small, Yet she ran all the way here with her little body. He praises her and keeps her safe, waiting for Tadamasa. He prays that his fiancé remains safe. Sei faces the crazy man who believes she ruined his life. No matter how hard she wishes for him to stay away, he still approaches. He grabs her clothes and suddenly accuses her of knowing he can't have children. Our heroine is confused, wondering if the man is completely insane. He was the one who divorced her because she couldn't have kids. He was even expecting a child with another woman. He chokes her, demanding an answer. He keeps mumbling, saying his children belong to another man. Sei is in shock because this means it was never her fault that they couldn't have children. When she asks the man about it, he jumps away in fear, insisting it wasn't his fault. He can't accept the fact that he is infertile. He really is crazy, as he suddenly starts laughing. Our heroine wonders what is wrong with him. But if this is true and it was Shuichi's fault that they could never have children, he doesn't let her think and suddenly approaches her again. He still insists he isn't infertile and decides to test it out on Sei. Lord Suhaku is bleeding and keeps coughing. But that isn't important because he can finally smell Sei's scent. There is no mistake. Sei must be inside the warehouse. Our heroine is struggling for her life. She refuses to let this man touch her again and keeps fighting. It frustrates Shuichi, and he yells at her to keep quiet. He wants her to remain obedient and listen to him, just as she did before. But as I said, our Sei has changed. She immediately kicks his stomach and tells him she won't listen. He needs to stay away from her. The man can't believe she just hit him. He becomes violent and slams her head to the floor. But even that won't destroy her determination. Sei refuses to listen to him anymore. But right now, there is nothing she can do. She closes her eyes and calls her man's name, only for him to really appear at the door. The two turn back and stare at the beast man in shock. Sei is so relieved that she begins to cry. Well, bad news for Shuichi. The sight of her tears makes our male lead snap, and he suddenly becomes feral. Get him. Shuichi must really regret treating Sei so violently, because once Lord Suhaku sees the tears on his fiancé's face, he snaps and becomes feral. Now Shuichi is scared. Instead of running, he stands there asking why our male lead is here. Wrong choice. Suhaku only has to hit him once, and the man flies across the room, slamming into the wall. Suhaku's sharp claws have injured his arm, and Shuichi lies on the floor wailing like a child. Our male lead isn't done with him. He approaches, wondering just how much more the man has to hurt Sei. Oh no, it seems we have all forgotten that beastmen can't control themselves when they see blood. Right now, Shuichi is bleeding, and the sight of his blood makes Lord Suhaku lose control. He can't even hear Sei, who begs him to stop. Our heroine realizes he can't hear her. He keeps attacking Shuichi and is now choking him. The man questions Suhaku, reminding him that it is a crime for a beastman to hurt a human. A very unfair rule, though. It seems Shuichi really wants to die, as even now he still insults Sei, saying Suhaku is wasting his life for a worthless woman. As expected, our male lead is furious and slams him down again. Now Sei is very worried. She keeps begging Suhaku to stop, but he can't hear her. She is still tied up and desperately moves around, praying that the rope loosens. It does, and she immediately runs forward. Shuichi has been beaten up badly. Lord Suhaku is about to land the killing blow when Sei suddenly rushes to his front, calling his name. She cries and begs him to stop. Our male lead is struggling, so she holds his hand. He finally regains his senses and holds her hand. He turns back to his human form and gently calls her name. Sei turns into a big baby, hugging him and crying loudly. Suhaku apologizes for scaring her. All he wanted to do was protect her. The couple settles into a corner and keeps hugging, relieved to have each other. Well, this is an interesting trio. We see Tadamasa in his wolf form, riding a horse, which is actually Senri in her beast form, while Riri hangs on his shoulder in her squirrel form. They are tracing our main lead's scent, and Tadamasa announces he can smell some blood. Senri agrees that it is bad news, while Riri tells them they have arrived at the warehouse. They all rush into the warehouse, calling out for the couple. Instead, the first thing they see is an injured Shuichi. Some soldiers have arrived, and everyone wonders what happened here. Lord Suhaku finally stands up, and Senri asks if he was the one who injured Shuichi. Suhaku admits it was him and tells them they can arrest him. Sei definitely won't allow that. She tries to stop Lady Senri, telling them Suhaku was just trying to protect her. The man himself stops her. He assures her he is fine, but she doesn't listen. Tadamasa holds her back and reminds her that a beast man can never hurt a human, no matter what happens. We can all agree that it is the most useless rule ever. Even Sei feels it is unfair, but there is nothing she can do. The soldiers check on the scumbag who, unfortunately, is still breathing. What a pity. Thankfully, they also arrested him. Our heroine watches as her fiancé is taken away. She tries to follow him, but Tadamasa stops her. She is in despair, begging them not to take her man away, but no one listens to her. Our heroine isn't the only one having a breakdown. Jiro Fujigamine can't believe Suhaku has been arrested for harming a human. He wonders just what the man was thinking. But Jiro has always been a businessman. He immediately decides to cut ties with the Kamishiro family and announces that the engagement is called off. Chio and her mother hear this. Her mother isn't pleased, thinking it will be a big disgrace for Sei to return to their home a second time. Chio is happy and suggests they also disown Sei from the Fujigamine family. She is really pleased. Both Shuichi and Suhaku have been arrested, and no one will believe Sei. Everything happened exactly the way she wanted. This is amazing news for the snake. Chio. Her mother is still worried because their business has been going badly. Chio assures her mother that everything will be fine. She is going to marry a good man and support her family. Her mother doesn't support her because it isn't the right time for Chio to marry. Well, we aren't the only ones terrified of Chio. The look on her face frightens her mother, who quickly changes her mind and agrees with her. She tells the girl she is their only hope now. At the Kamishiro estate, Tadamasa asks about Sae and learns she hasn't been sleeping or eating. The maids think this is normal since she just went through a scary incident. The man planned to take her to the military for questioning, but decided to reschedule upon hearing that. The maids are worried and wonder what would happen to their family if Lord Sohaku never returns. But even Tadamasa is confused. He is taking a walk when he sees Sae. She is dressed up and tells him she is ready to leave. Her determination makes him happy, and he promises to follow her anywhere. The maids gather to wish Sae goodbye, acting like she is going on a long journey. But their sincerity makes her smile. Sae asks Riri about her beast form, and the maid reveals she doesn't like anyone seeing her that way. Because she is an animal form beast woman, she always ends up naked, which makes her shy. Sae is confused, so Tadamasa explains to her, beastmen have two forms, human form and animal form. People like Suhaku look more like humans when they change, but some people, like Riri, become full animals when they change. Riri has always disliked her beast form. Because she is just a squirrel, most people look down on her. But that night, she was glad to be a squirrel because it allowed her to chase after Sae and find her. Tadamasa announces they will soon arrive. The three are headed to the Imperial military quarters. This is where Suhaku is being kept. Sae explains what happened to Senri. She tells her that Shuichi had already gone mad. If Lord Suhaku hadn't saved her, she would have been killed. She believes her younger sister orchestrated this whole mess and wants Chio investigated as well. Senri promises to do so, but she tells Sae this information may not be useful. Sae feels it is unfair. She wants to see Lord Suhaku, concerned about his wounds, but Senri tells her it is impossible. Any beastmen who harm humans are strictly quarantined. Tadamasa begs her to speak on Suhaku's behalf, since Shoichi has committed many crimes as well. Their begging annoys Senri, and she yells at Tadamasa, reminding him how things work. In the military, the beastmen are the weakest. No one is willing to listen to them. Senri is extremely sad. She also wants to save Suhaku, but there is nothing she can do. They all look hopeless except for Sae. If her testimony is not enough, she is ready to write a petition for Suhaku's punishment to be reduced. Senri doesn't think the military will release a beastman who hurt a human, but Sae doesn't care about that. She is ready to do anything to free Lord Suhaku. The three are done, and Tadamasa praises Sae for her courage. It is time for them to return home and get some sweet rest. Tadamasa leaves the women behind and goes to fetch their car. Sae knows Tadamasa is right. The only thing they can do is wait, but she still feels worried. Sae is still thinking of her fiancé. She has no idea she will meet her ex-husband's new wife soon until the woman calls her name. She introduces herself to Sae. Of course Sae knows her. After all, this was the woman Shuichi divorced her for because she was pregnant with his child. She wonders what the woman is doing here. And Teruko says she is here to testify. She tells Sae none of the children she had belongs to Shuichi. She wanted him to divorce Sae, so she slept with another man to get pregnant. But now, Teruko really regrets doing that. She apologizes to Sae for harming her. The baby seems to agree with her and kicks her. The woman shouts in pain, prompting our heroine's concern. Teruko tells Sae the baby will soon arrive. Sae isn't bothered by that anymore. She might have wanted a child before, but now she has someone even more important, Lord Suhaku. She wishes Teruko well. Her actions make the woman feel guilty, and she tries to say something. What is she going to tell Sae? Sae sincerely wishes Teruko well, making the woman feel guilty. She promises Sae she will tell the soldiers the truth so Shuichi will be properly punished. Sae likes it. And the woman leaves, thanking Sae for caring for her. Inside the military headquarters, we see a handsome redhead soldier receive a letter from his subordinates. Sae really wrote a petition for Suhaku's release. The man seems interested when he hears about Sae. Days later, Senri visits Sae and informs her that she has been allowed to see Lord Sohaku. Before our heroine can get too excited, she is told there is a special condition. She must first meet their colonel. The man has specially requested to speak to her. Now what could that be about? Sae too is confused and wonders why the military colonel wants to see her. Well, we are about to find out why. She visits the military base and is taken to see the man. Apparently, the colonel's name is Rindu Kagami, and he is a human who hates the beastmen very much. Senri couldn't believe he was the one who approved Sae's visit. The two men were very famous back then. Kagami was known as the beast hater, and Suhaku as the human hater. Sae is surprised and asks Tadamasa whether he knows this man as well. He says he does because Kagami took care of him when he was in the military. Except it was not the good kind. Tadamasa hated the man so much that he actually considered eating him. He might not have harmed Kagami, but he has definitely scared our heroine. But she is still determined to do anything to save Suhaku. Sae has arrived at Kagami's office, and the first thing she notices when she enters is the sweet smell of flowers. The man seems very friendly and even tells her to relax around him. Tadamasa follows her in, and Kagami finally notices him. Tadamasa doesn't waste time insulting his perfume, only for Kagami to say he can't recognize him. Low blow. Tadamasa definitely wants to fight, but Senri begs him to calm down. Kagami can't be bothered by those two silly people. Sae has requested that Suhaku's sentence be reduced, and he tells her the military would never allow it. But if he were to specially plead for Suhaku, he might even be able to free the man. Senri doesn't trust him, wondering why this man who hates beastmen would suddenly decide to help Suhaku. Sae doesn't know what Senri is thinking. Her only concern is if Kagami can help them. He says he can help them reduce Suhaku's punishment, but he has one condition. He tells Sae it depends on her and reveals he has always been interested in her. He has been waiting to see her and now wants a private chat. We see our male lead in prison garb. locked in a cell. He looks sad until he hears his fiancée calling him. When he looks up, he really sees her. Sei has come to visit him. Our male lead is at first delighted to see his fiancée, but then he becomes ashamed, thinking he has no right to see her. He was once a military doctor and has been trained not to lose control when seeing human blood. But for some reason, anytime it involves Sei, he seems to lose control. At that moment, he wanted to punish Shuichi for everything he had done to Sei. If she hadn't stopped him, he would have eaten the man. He feels very guilty, but Sei warns him not to apologize. He did all those things to save her, so she doesn't blame him. In fact, she is even thankful. He committed a sin just to protect her. So it is her turn now to protect him. Suhaku might just have fallen in love with her all over again. He must really want to hug her right now. But the prison bars are in their way. They can only touch their foreheads together. This is another form of torture for them, being so close and yet not being able to touch. She is still worried about his health, but he tells her he is fine. He is a beastman, so his body is naturally stronger than a human's. She tells him about her plan to have his sentence reduced. Suhaku knows that it is impossible. The military would never have pity on a beastman. Someone interrupts them. Kagami arrives and says it is indeed impossible. Suhaku is shocked to see him, while the man is as cheerful as always. Suhaku demands to know why Kagami is here. The colonel talks about how he read Sei's petition, and her feelings for Suhaku impressed him, making him approve of her visit. He lets Suhaku know that he has been chatting with Sei, and she even told him how she met Suhaku. He seems to be purposely annoying our male lead as he touches Sei. Of course, Suhaku reacts and shows his fangs, warning the man to stay away from his fiancée. Kagami laughs and moves away, but wants Suhaku to stop glaring at him. After all, he is the one helping him now. Like the rest of us, Suhaku is shocked that a beast hater would want to help him. He is sure the man must have a plan. Kagami does want something. He wants Suhaku to owe him a favor. He advises the beastman to make the smart choice and rely on him. Done with annoying Suhaku, he tells Sei the visiting hours are over. Our heroine is reluctant to leave her man and promises to do everything to free him. Everyone is waiting for him to come home. Sei follows Kagami out, wondering if she should trust the man, but she has no choice. Right now, he is the only one who can help Suhaku. The man suddenly asks whether she speaks foreign languages and wants to know more about her. She tells him her parents were running a trading company, so they lived abroad. He is curious about them, and she reveals that her parents were kind people. They spoke several languages and adapted to life abroad, forging many close friendships. They might be dead, but they were honest people. Kagami believes she can trust the beastman because her parents were wonderful. He is actually confused. Her father and Jiru clearly had the same parents, so why are they so different? He decides to reveal a secret about her uncle to Sei. Just what could it be? Kagami tells our heroine a little secret. Her uncle will soon be arrested. It is true. The next day, Lord Jiru is arrested in his home for selling illegal drugs. Kagami still has that annoying smile on his face, even when arresting people. He tells Jiru he should have just continued scamming nobles and selling fake drugs. Yoshi is panicking. She never knew her husband would actually start selling hard drugs. Everything is a mess. And she doesn't know when her husband will be released. How is she supposed to run the Fujigamine company when she knows nothing about business? Chio rushes in, but her only concern is how they will live and what will happen to her engagement. She already looks defeated, but it is just the beginning of her karma. Senri goes to the Kamishiro Manor to tell Sai about her uncle's arrest. Our heroine isn't surprised, since Kagami had already told her beforehand. The only new detail is that Jiru was selling hard drugs, but she has no strength to worry about him. She is still thinking of Suhaku and asks Senri for updates about his sentence. It seems to be going smoothly. Kagami was very helpful, and the military finally agreed that Suhaku was just trying to protect Sei. To our surprise, we find out that Teruko also testified against her husband. Sei remembers the woman's promises and is surprised she actually did it. But there is bad news for our heroine. Senri tells her that Suhaku's case has been abandoned. Sei demands to know why, and Senri reminds her that they are beastmen. Most humans won't agree to forgive a beastman. Riri agrees, and tells Sei how the beastmen would be punished in the past, even when the humans are at fault. Sei is annoyed by how unfair it all is. Senri has always been taught not to offend humans. She was told it was her role to be used by humans. She believed it was normal for beastmen to suffer even when they didn't offend humans. Only now does she realize how wrong it is. Sei still won't give up. She makes up her mind to keep speaking out to expose this injustice. Senri agrees with her. There are many beastmen in the military who all support Suhaku. She will speak to them and stage a protest. Sei wants to come along, and Senri agrees. Sei is out with Senri and Tadamasa on their mission when they run into the last person they wish to see. Sei's wicked sister, Chio. The girl acts surprised and seems to regret seeing Sei alive. Sei doesn't want to waste time with this psychopath. She tells the girl she has reported her actions to the military. Chio isn't afraid because our heroine has no proof. She thinks no one will believe her. She mocks her cousin for relying on the Kamishiro family for everything. She reminds Sei that her fiancé has been arrested, so she doesn't even have a backer. Sei is annoyed by Chio's audacity. She was the one who planned everything, so how dare she speak that way? Chio is annoyed to see Sei glaring at her. Her cousin has always been a coward, so why does she look so scary now? Chio is annoyed to see Sei glaring at her. It makes her scared, and she yells at our heroine, telling her to speak. The situation calms down when Chio's mother arrives. She smiles at her daughter, but it changes to fear when she sees Seiyao. She nervously asks what our heroine is doing here. Sei brings up the issue of Jiru's arrest, which makes Yoshi panic. She probably thinks Sei is after their company and tells her someone has been helping them run it. She tells Sei to stop worrying about it because it is none of her business. Just like her daughter, Chio's mother hates seeing Sei looking so bold. Sei's fiancé has been arrested too, so she expects the girl to be as wretched as they are. She angrily says Sei has been expelled from the Fujigamin's family and warns her not to return. She tells our heroine to remain with her beastmen. Sei doesn't argue. She tells them she will do as she wants. Since they can't bully her, the mother and daughter leave. Those women seem to have a way of making people hate them. Even Senri finds them annoying and almost hits them. It might have become Sei's habit to apologize as she says sorry once again. Senri neither accepts her apology nor praises her actions. She really liked seeing Sei stand up for herself. Tadamasa points out how nervous the women looked. They must be panicking because Jiru was arrested. Sei knows her aunt has never been involved in the business. She must be having some trouble now that Jiru is gone. She orders Lord Tadamasa to investigate and keep watch on what happens within Fujigamini's company from now on. Tadamasa is confused. It is an easy task, but he wonders why. Sei doesn't answer, only saying she is suspicious about something. They aren't the only ones worried about the Fujigamins. Over at the military base, Jiru has still refused to confess. The soldiers report to Colonel Kagami, but he isn't bothered. After all, it won't affect him. It is Jiru who will suffer because his sentence will be lengthened. Kagami even assigns someone else to the case. The soldier has one more thing to report. They have been getting complaints from the beastmen in the military. They are all unhappy with how Lord Suhaku is being treated and punished. It turns out Sei's petition is gaining more support. Yay. Nothing can really bother Kagami. He still doesn't care about this. His soldier, meanwhile, is worried, asking why he would assist Suhaku when he's just a beastman. Everyone knows how much he hates them. We finally see Kagami's mean side as he warns his soldier to shut up and get out. The poor man looks like he has just seen a ghost and quickly rushes away. Kagami sits alone, thinking of what the soldier said about the beastmen supporting Sei. He never thought a human would be able to capture the hearts of the beastmen. She's really better than he expected. At the Fujigamin's home, Chio happily welcomes her mother home. Yoshi has just returned from the bank, and she happily asks for a new dress to celebrate her future engagement. Well, she is going to be disappointed. Chio finally realizes something might be wrong as her mother's face is pale and she keeps shaking. She asks about it, and her mother finally reveals it is all gone. There is nothing left in the bank. The girl can't believe it, asking how their money could be gone. It turns out the person running their business for them is missing. Her mother tried to reach them, even going to their house only to find it empty. Chio has finally realized that their money has been stolen and blames her mother. She trusted her friends so much that she even gave them access to her bank account. She suggests they beg their relatives for help. Yoshi reveals they all cut ties with them after hearing of Jiru's arrest. She can't bear it anymore and starts screaming. Chio watches in shock, wondering how this could happen to her. Tadamasa has been watching the Fujigamin family and tells Sei about their current condition. Not only have they been scammed out of their money, but even their servants have also abandoned them. Their lifestyle has completely changed. He tells Sei the hard truth. The Fujigamin's family probably won't be able to survive. Our heroine doesn't react much, and the man can tell she is still worried about Suhaku. He wants her to stop worrying. She has done everything she can to help Suhaku. The only thing they can do now is pray and wait for things to change. Alone in his cell, our male lead reflects on what Senri told him. Many of their old military friends came to protest his release, all because of Sei. Her determination not to give up on him encouraged everyone. Suhaku is moved until he catches a familiar scent. It belongs to someone he absolutely doesn't want to see. Kagami says Suhaku must be bored and offers to chat with him. The Beastman refuses. He still hasn't forgotten how mean and cruel Kagami was to the Beastmen soldiers. He treated them like useless pawns. The colonel insists he has changed since then. He has also noticed Suhaku's change and thinks it is because of his fiancée, Sei. He is actually impressed with Sei. Because of her efforts, Suhaku will soon be released. But as usual, the colonel has a condition. Suhaku will have to exchange something for his freedom. What could that be? Chio has always been proud, so it is very satisfying to watch her beg a maid to stay. All their servants have left, and the last one seems to be leaving too. Chio tries to convince her to stay back, but the woman shoves her away. She has always disliked the current Fujigamin family. She will be a fool to keep serving them when they can't even pay her. Chio throws a tantrum after the maid leaves. She believes she doesn't deserve this. She's already used to servants doing everything for her, even feeding and changing her clothes. She really can't survive. Her mother returns home, but this time she is smiling. This is a sign that she has found some money, and Chio is finally happy. The money seems to be a lot, and with this, they can survive for some time. Chio wonders where her mother got so much money, and the woman reveals she sold the company. Chio can't believe her mother would sell the company behind her father's back. Well, Yoshi has bigger news. She plans to divorce the man. The money from selling the company will be her divorce fee. Chio doesn't seem to understand their situation, still concerned about losing her status. Her mother isn't worried. She has a new target, the man who bought Fujigamine. He is a business expert and is very rich. From the way she describes him, golden hair, blue eyes, foreigner, she is clearly talking about Edward. She discovered he was single and wants her daughter to seduce him. Then they will have an even higher status. Yoshi is meeting Lord Edward. She returns to the company to sign off on the final rights and receive the last payment from him. The woman thinks of the money and wastes no time in signing the agreement. She doesn't care about the Fujigamin company. Her only concern is avoiding poverty. After the signing, Edward tells her the Fujigamin family has no connection with the company anymore. The woman can't refuse because her husband committed a crime and sold drugs. In her mind, she scolds him for causing her trouble. After selling his company, she plans to divorce him. She thanks Edward for buying the company despite the situation. At first, no one would buy it, and she panicked. The man promises to make the company work. He reveals he is just an investor. Someone else will take over the company and manage it from now on. Yoshi doesn't care about that and, after wishing him well, asks about the money. Edward hands over a suitcase full of money, and the woman almost cries in happiness. This money is actually too much for a failing company. But Yoshi isn't complaining. She eagerly accepts the money. They will be able to survive now. Edward is throwing a party to introduce the new manager and tells Yoshi to bring her daughter. This is a perfect opportunity for the woman. She will make sure her daughter seduces him so they can get everything. The day of the party finally arrives. As soon as Chio sees how pretty the hall looks, she knows this investor must be very rich. She keeps looking around, eager to see him, but is approached by a foreigner. He tries to speak to her, but she doesn't understand what he says. She quickly runs away, annoyed at him. She isn't here to talk to random people. She came to meet her future husband. She waits outside and finally sees her mother. She is about to complain when she spots the handsome man beside Yoshi. It is Lord Edward. Her mother introduces him to Chio, and for the first time, we see Chio shy. Her heart is racing, and she is amazed by how handsome the man is. He is different from her former fiancé. Even Seiya's Beastman can't compare. She decides that Lord Edward is her soulmate and is worthy to become her husband. Her mother urges her to speak to him, but he refuses. He says he has to introduce the company's new president and walks away. He thanks everyone for attending today's party to celebrate the rebirth of the Fujigamin company. He tells them he invested in the company only to help a certain lady. From now on, that lady will be running the company. We are all curious to know who this mysterious lady is. Edward finally opens the door, allowing her in. Chio and her mother are shocked to see this person, as they know her. The new president of the Fujigamin company is Sei. Edward introduces the new president of Fujigamin's company, and it turns out to be our heroine. Yoshi and Chio are shocked. They never thought Sei would be here and rush to confront her. Sei has no explanation for them. Just like Edward said, she is the new president. She reveals she was the one who encouraged Edward to invest in and buy the company. Yoshi is unhappy and accuses Sei of tricking them. Our heroine reminds her of whose fault it is. Her aunt was just too greedy for money and didn't read the contract carefully. The woman says she wouldn't have sold it if she'd known Sei would be the owner. Sei mocks her, reminding her that there were no other buyers. She actually saved them. This is exciting news for the people around, and they begin to gossip. They look down on the mother and daughter for getting scammed. They think they are shameless, daring to show up at the party after what Jiru did. Of course, the women can hear this, and they both look pale. Sei watches them from behind. She has finally decided to take action. A few days ago, Senri informed her that Lord Suhaku would soon be released. She was so excited that she ran over in her beast form. Of course, the happiest person was Sei. But after that day, our heroine began to plan. Her fiancé has always wanted an equal society for beastmen and humans and has focused on developing medicine. If she takes over Fujigamin, she will be able to assist him once he is released. That was why she made this decision. Back to the banquet. Sei criticizes Jiru and his family. She reminds the mother and daughter that the company was created to be a bridge between countries. The generations after the company's founder, including her own father, all followed this rule. Yet after Jiru took over the company, he started selling hard drugs. She says her aunt isn't better, rushing to sell and abandon the company. She calls the family greedy and accuses them of destroying the Fujigamin's company. From now on, she will lead the company herself. Edward is impressed, glad he made the right decision by investing in her. Sei continues her speech. She knows it will be a difficult journey, but she has the support of Lord Edward, Lord Sohaku, and others who trust her. She makes a promise to the people around, vowing to revive the Fujigamin's company and asks for their support. The crowd is moved, and they all start clapping. Of course, not everyone is happy. Chio's mother can't control her temper and starts yelling at Sei, accusing her of humiliating them. She calls her ungrateful and an awful daughter, and even starts pulling her clothes. Sei announces she is no longer related to them. Her aunt chased her out and told her to do whatever she wanted. Yoshi grows violent and tries to slap Sei, but Tadamasa stops her. He promises to throw her out if she keeps causing a scene. She doesn't listen and keeps shouting, vowing never to forgive Sei. Chio appears as well and accuses Sei of being vile, demanding that she release her mother. She condemns her for harming her own family. Now that she knows Sei might have some money, she says she wants to apologize and work together with our heroine. So delusional. Sei doesn't fall for her tricks and slaps her hand away, warning her not to touch her. She doesn't need the girl's fake apology and vows never to forgive the family for everything they did to her. Chio might not remember their past, but Sei still remembers the girl who would smile and care for her. Sei really loved the girl back then. She was blinded by that love and never realized Chio had started to hate her. Even she thinks she was a fool for never noticing. They have already received the money from selling the company, so Sei has no business with them anymore. Sei tries to leave and doesn't listen to Chio, who begs her to stay. It annoys the girl, and she suddenly tries to attack Sei. Thankfully, Lord Edward rescues our heroine and warns Chio to stop disgracing herself. After all, she is in public. The girl is ashamed and runs away. Sei apologizes to Edward for the mess, but he doesn't mind it. He only invited the women to show how foolish they were. He advises Sei to keep being confident. Our heroine apologizes to the crowd and vows to win their trust once again. She doesn't expect them to suddenly start clapping. They all approve of her. In fact, they are all eager to start business with her. The mother and daughter try to convince themselves that it's all a dream. How can their company end up in Sei's hands? Well, that is the reality. Days have passed and our heroine has become busy. The business is going smoothly, and she thanks Tadamasa for assisting her. They pass by a familiar street, and Sei notices her ex-husband's shop is gone. After his arrest, his relatives had to close the shop down. She worries about Teruko and her child and prays for their safety. Finally, the past is behind her, and our heroine doesn't have to worry about her ex-husband again. She is happy because Lord Suhaku will be returning to the Kamishiro Manor tomorrow. Kagami sends Suhaku off with a warning. He will still be under military observation, so he must be careful. Suhaku thanks him for his help, but Kagami doesn't need thanks. He reminds Suhaku of his conditions, and the Beastman promises to fulfill them. What could his conditions be? The Kamishiro estate is bustling as all the servants gather around to wait for their lord's return. Sei joins them, and even the proud Maru is dragged along. The servants are getting impatient and wish they could have gone to fetch him from the base, but they had been advised to keep silent about his release because he is a beastman. The maids feel it is unfair. Riri doesn't want any sad news today. She talks to Sei, but our heroine is so nervous that she is blushing. The maids all tease her, as everyone knows how happy she is. She has been waiting for this day. Lord Suhaku has finally arrived. Before the maids can speak, Sei turns into an Olympic runner and rushes to his side. Suhaku is playing with Maru when he hears an incoming missile. Of course it is Sei, and she throws herself at him, hugging him tightly. She has been waiting for this moment. The man thanks her for her help. Senri told him everything, and he is really grateful. The couple hug each other rightly. They look really happy. I'm so jealous. The Kamishiros throw a party to celebrate Suhaku's return. Even Edward has been invited, and everyone looks happy. Suhaku and Tadamasa seem to be having a private discussion. Suhaku pours some wine for him personally, almost scaring Tadamasa, but it is just our male lead's way of thanking him for taking care of his fiancée and the estate. Tadamasa refuses to accept his thanks, feeling guilty. He failed to protect Suhaku from the accident. They are interrupted by a drunk Senri. She isn't the only one drunk, as even Riri has turned into her squirrel form and fallen asleep. The party is over and the servants start cleaning up. Sei tries to help, but she is chased away and asked to go stay with her man. Sei is shy again, especially when the man praises the idea and says they should go to his room. Unfortunately, they end up in the medicine room and continue drinking. Suhaku notices how red her face is and assumes she is drunk. He isn't wrong. She was so happy that she drank too much. Just looking at her pretty face stirs the man up, and he suddenly pulls her close and kisses her. Sei's body is so hot she feels like she could melt. She blames the innocent alcohol, but we all know it is because of the kiss. When he stops the kiss, she isn't happy. She really wants him to touch her more, just like he did during their first night. They are enjoying their kiss when something happens. Lord Suhaku gets a strange feeling and pushes Sei away. He says he got too heated, but it is clearly a lie. Sei is worried and scolds herself for desiring him in such a public place. She is afraid he will think she is an indecent woman. But Suhaku is thinking of something different. He just had the same feeling he had when he lost control after seeing human blood. He actually felt the desire to eat a human. The feeling of rut and the desire to eat a human are the same. Normally, a beastman in heat wouldn't desire to eat his partner, but it is different when their partner is a human. The more they love their partner, the stronger their desire to eat them is. Suhaku is in despair. He always thought he could control himself around Sei. He would be careful not to hurt her, and everything would be fine as long as they trusted each other. But it isn't so simple. Only now does he realize how painful it is to have a partner from a different race. But he knows he wouldn't have these feelings if he didn't love Sei. Still, he can't marry her when he has these urges. He remains silent, making Sei panic. She thinks he might have noticed her indecent feelings and probably dislikes her now. The man suggests they leave and offers to walk her back. They arrive at Sei's room. Suhaku is reluctant to leave her and hugs her again. He wishes her goodnight and leaves. Sei is relieved he has returned to his normal self. She believes they will be together forever. The thought makes her happy, and she prays the man feels the same way. We see some soldiers arrive at the prison. The younger one is scared when he hears a strange noise. The other man isn't bothered. He says it is just a prisoner in the cell slamming his head against the wall. The man seems to have gone insane after learning his company had been sold out. He warns the other soldier to stay away from him. Just like we expected, it is Lord Giroux. He has gone crazy, slamming his head against the wall. He keeps repeating the same words, vowing never to forgive them, and declaring that Fujigamin's company is his. What a satisfying end. Lord Giroux isn't the only one going crazy. In the Fujigamin home, the mood is just as terrible as the weather. Chio's mother keeps counting the money. Like Giroux, she keeps laughing and repeating the same words, vowing that the company isn't important as long as they have money. Chio watches her mother in disbelief. In the next scene, Edward tells Sei that the Fujigamin mansion has been sold. Our heroine already heard the rumors and isn't surprised. She already knew her aunt would sell the house and run away from Giroux. Giroux might still be locked up for now, but Edward knows he will soon be released. He advises Sei to look for a lawyer beforehand. Sei knows he is right. Right now, the Fujigamin family has been destroyed. She can only rely on herself from now on. Edward interrupts her train of thought, worried she might be tired from all the business talks. She assures him she is fine. She finds it fun as Edward teaches her about business. Edward reveals he also has a trading company back home, so she can ask him anything. Misono arrives with some tea, and Edward immediately turns into an awkward teenage boy. He even says her tea is so precious that he wants to preserve it and take it home. The two start flirting again, forgetting our heroine is still there. Thankfully, she isn't bothered. Edward gives her a present, though, a trading book that will be helpful for her business. Sei thanks him and begins to read. He wants to know what her company will trade in, and Sei says she will focus on medical supplies. She wants to sell medical devices and ingredients to support the Kamishiro medicine. Edward supports her idea and offers to introduce her to a friend in that business. Suhaku is with Tadamasa, and the man keeps talking about how hardworking Sei is. He tries to annoy Suhaku by praising her, but his master doesn't fall for his trick. Tadamasa suggests they start preparing for the wedding now that both of them are free, but Suhaku's reply shocks him. Our couple meets in the hall, and Suhaku is stunned when he sees Sei. She is wearing a foreign outfit which looks really good on her. He praises her and she smiles. He asks about her business, and she reveals she will start selling medical supplies. He is shocked by her reason. She hopes it will be useful for his medical research. He is happy she is considering his work, and she promises to do her best to support him. He is proud of her and touches her face, but that feeling appears again. His claws have grown sharp. He immediately moves away from her, terrified that it happened again. But Sei misunderstands his actions and thinks he doesn't want to touch her. She tries to convince herself that she was just imagining things. But there is worse news for her. Remember the condition Kagami kept talking about? Well, Suhaku finally reveals what it is. In exchange for his freedom, he promised to rejoin the military. Our heroine is shocked. Suhaku explains that after he left, the fights between the beastmen and the humans continued. The higher-ups have been troubled by this and have decided to bring Suhaku back into the military. Sei is upset. The military not only locked Suhaku up without a reason, but they are also now demanding his return. She remembers the favor Kagami asked for and realizes it was all part of a plan. He had threatened Suhaku. She blames herself for seeking Kagami's help, but Suhaku doesn't want her to feel guilty. If she hadn't done that, he wouldn't have been released. He has always known Kagami couldn't be trusted, but he can't deny that the man helped them this time. Well, it is already determined that our male lead will return to the military. His return has been postponed so he can prepare and settle his affairs. He tells Sei he will still make medicine while working there and promises to buy all his supplies from her company. Sei promises to support him. She tells him about the land Lord Edward bought for her. Our male lead suddenly panics. He misunderstands and thinks she is leaving him. Sei explains that the land is just to build a new office for her company. Now the beastman is embarrassed and apologizes for overreacting. Sei grows shy and asks if she can continue living in the Kamishiro estate. She doesn't expect the man to suddenly hug her. He says she can stay here forever, and the two become very lovey-dovey again. Suhaku knows he wants to marry her, but he is terrified. His feelings for Sei keep growing, but the stronger they become, the less he trusts himself. He is afraid he will lose control one day and eat her up. The thought is too terrifying, and our hero becomes more desperate to create the suppressant, but it never seems to work. Sei notices her fiancé has been locking himself up in the medicine room every day. When she asks Tadamasa, he reveals that the Lord is preparing him to become a military doctor. He has also finally made some progress on the suppressants. Suhaku has told Sei about the suppressants and how they can control the beastman's urge to mate and eat humans. She's more worried about Suhaku's health. Tadamasa agrees with her and promises to tell Suhaku to rest. Except the man goes ahead and recounts the full conversation to Suhaku, making him know his fiancé is very worried about him. He notices how pale his master looks and can tell he hasn't slept for days. Suhaku keeps insisting he is fine, but he clearly isn't. Since the man is being so stubborn, Tadamasa brings out his ultimate move. He has a letter which he believes will make Suhaku rest after reading it. It is a letter from his mother, Lady Ritsuko. Well, some people just don't learn their lessons. Chio returns to her grandmother's home with her mother, but instead of investing their money, they waste it on buying jewelry. The grandmother is shocked to see this and warns her daughter to be careful. But Yoshi doesn't listen and even says she still has more money. The grandmother doesn't know what to do with her daughter. She had accepted the mother and daughter after they came home crying, saying they had nowhere to go. But not only is Yoshi's daughter spoiled, but the woman herself also insists on wasting all the money she gathered. She tells them to spend carefully, otherwise they will go broke. Her words just annoy Yoshi, who declares she will spend her money the way she wants. Her mother mocks her, reminding her that the money was gotten from her niece. That name is enough to make the woman snap, and Yoshi starts yelling. She hates hearing Sei's name. Just remembering how Sei looked down on them is enough to make the mother and daughter sick. Our heroine is also going through some troubles. Suhaku informs her that his mother would like to see her. She wants Sei to come to the wolf village so she can introduce her to Suhaku's relatives. But there is a huge problem. Everyone in the village is a beastman and they all hate humans. Suhaku is afraid to take her there, afraid she might get hurt. Sei doesn't mind. Since his mother has invited them, it would be rude to decline. Besides, she really wants to meet his mother. And so the next day, our couple begins the journey, except Suhaku is asleep throughout. Riri and Tadamasa follow along and are amazed that the Lord could sleep in front of other people. But Sei knows it is because he has been too busy researching his drugs. She really hopes he will relax during their trip. She's excited to see the wolves' village. It might be far from the capital, but it is where Suhaku grew up. They finally arrive at the village. Sei thinks this is Tadamasa's hometown too, but he says he was born in a different village. He met Suhaku in the military. Suddenly, a beastman runs over yelling Suhaku's name. He seems to be panicking. When Suhaku asks what is wrong, he says something has happened to his mother. They rush to our male lead's home and meet his mother, coughing harshly. She seems to be really sick. The beastman said she had been ill for some time, but it suddenly worsened that morning. Sei is worried for the woman. Well, she should worry about herself first. The door is suddenly pushed open, and a beastman appears with some water for Ritsuko. Suhaku begs the man to be quiet. He greets him as his uncle, but the man doesn't look happy. When Sei looks at him, he glares at her. He even pushes Suhaku out of the way and insists he can take care of his sister alone. He seems to really dislike our male lead. Suhaku has brought some new medicine for his mother, but his uncle still looks angry. We find out it is because Suhaku looks like his dead father. He chases them out, claiming his mother can't rest with so many people. Later that night, Sei asks about his mother, and Suhaku says she has fallen asleep. His mother has always been weak and often falls sick. They are already used to it, so he doesn't want Sei to worry. Our couple is going to meet Suhaku's relatives, and Sei is extremely nervous. Well, I would be too if I saw a bunch of wolves gathered in a room staring at me. Our heroine is scared. Who wouldn't be when you have a bunch of wolves who dislike humans staring at you? Sei can tell what the look on their face is. They don't trust her. The banquet is off to a rocky start as one of the wolves yells at them to get in. Sei recognizes him. He was the wolf who had been caring for Suhaku's mother. She feels nervous, but it disappears when she remembers Lord Suhaku is by her side. Suhaku thanks the wolves for inviting him and taking care of his mother. He introduces Sei to them as his fiancé. Sei does a full 90-degree bow with her forehead touching the floor just to show her respect. While some still don't like her, a few are amazed by how pretty she is. One of the female wolves offers her a seat to make her comfortable. Suhaku introduces that wolf as his aunt, Etsu. Etsu introduces the rest of the wolves sitting on her side of the table. They are all from the Kamishiro family. Turns out Suhaku is an only child. His father died years back, leaving only him and his mother. Suhaku has never spoken much about his family, and Sei mentions this to him. Since he is unwilling, his aunt tells Sei about his family. Suhaku's father, Suichiro, was known as the most beautiful white wolf. Ritsuko was his childhood friend, and everyone agreed they were a perfect match. They were the ultimate married couple. Ritsuko's brother doesn't seem to agree with this story. He seems to dislike Suhaku's father. The reason? The man died before his sister could. Etsu introduces the people sitting at the other table. They are from the Ginju family and are Ritsuko's family members. The wolf who has been disturbing our couple is Taiko, the first son. Everyone knows he loves his sister very much. He wasn't happy when she was married off and always fought with Suichiro. Suhaku talks about his father and Sei sees how happy he is. She is sure his parents must have been a wonderful couple. Well, the Kamishiros are the only ones enjoying the talk of the past. Taiko doesn't care about that and wants to focus on the news of Suhaku's return to the military. He is angry and asks if our male lead isn't ashamed to be used by humans again. The relatives try to persuade him, but Taiko feels it is unfair how the humans treat the Beastman soldiers so poorly. Sei still thinks it is her fault that Suhaku couldn't refuse. The man himself isn't bothered. In the past, he might have felt used by humans, but it is different now. He tells them that after meeting his fiancée, he learned it was important to respect people regardless of race. He announces his desire to help humans and beastmen live in peace together. Sei is touched by his words, while his uncle is just annoyed. The other beastmen gossip. They believe it will be impossible to live with humans, but they all think Sei's and Suhaku's marriage will bring hope to the beast tribe. Taiko isn't pleased to hear this. He slams his cup down and declares their marriage won't work. His sister might have arranged this marriage, but he still won't support it. It is too easy for a beastman to become a man-eater, especially for the wolves. Taiko shares a story. There was once a man who, like Suhaku, fell in love with a human and decided to marry her. He fought the entire village and ran away with his bride. Unfortunately, they didn't have a happy ever after. It is more like a nightmare because the man lost control and ended up eating his wife. Taiko doesn't want a man-eater in their family and asks Suhaku to control himself. That is one question our male lead cannot answer. Taiko becomes suspicious and begins to question Suhaku, certain he is now attracted to human blood. Suhaku remains silent for too long, making Taiko suspect he is attracted to human blood. He even believes Suhaku must have tasted it after attacking Shuichi. Suhaku quickly swears he hasn't tasted blood. His uncle refuses to believe it. Sure, Suhaku is pretending. We aren't the only ones who have had enough of him. His wife slaps his head with a plate. She apologizes and chases the man away. The rest of the wolves complain about the banquet being ruined, but Sei keeps looking at Lord Suhaku. It is time for bed, and Lord Suhaku comes to say goodnight to his fiancée. Thanks to his dramatic uncle, the banquet ended quickly. Sei isn't bothered by the drama, and the man promises to see her tomorrow. As soon as he leaves, the girl stops smiling. She could tell Lord Suhaku was nervous when he heard his uncle's accusation. The man had refused to touch her lately, and she finally understands why. The next day, Sei goes looking for him, only to be told he is teaching the village's children the sword. Of course, she has to watch him. She arrives and immediately sees Suhaku fighting. He looks very charming. Judging by the group of ladies blushing and cheering him on, we can tell he is very popular. Our heroine is also charmed by him. Lord Tadamasa praises his master and reveals Suhaku has been trained in martial arts as a soldier. Sei is surprised because Suhaku is a military doctor. Tadamasa tells her beastmen are always sent to the front of the battles. Suhaku might be a doctor, but he is still a beastman and was trained to fight. The children complain about how strong Suhaku is, and he gives them some advice. Sei is happily watching her man when someone suddenly calls her. It is one of Suhaku's many admirers, and she challenges Sei, demanding to know if she is truly Lord Suhaku's fiancée. Back in the capital, Chiyo is having fun. She has just bought another batch of luxury clothes and overpaid the store. She thinks beautiful things suit her, and she's happy she still has plenty of money left. She is so blessed. Well, she wouldn't be any longer. She overhears some people on the street talking about some recent attacks by man-eaters. After hearing that beastmen visit the area, she decides to run home. but she is panicking too much and somehow gets lost. She suddenly hears some beastmen talking. Except these aren't normal beastmen, but man-eaters. They are even sharing human blood. Chio is terrified and decides to run away quickly. However, she is too late. The beastmen already notice her smell and find her hiding place. Now, what will happen to Chio next? Comment Suhaku for the next part. Until next time, ciao!